So let's see if I can do this. It's been a while. I mean, I've done several vlogs now, and I don't have that like photo stick thing. I don't know. The engagement of my videos, like my vlog videos, is pretty low. I mean, I don't know how those people do it, like where they get a bunch of people to let's turn on this light over here. Where they get a bunch of people to watch their vlogs, and funny enough, I used to kind of make fun of people who did vlogs and stuff. Like, I used to say to myself, who's gonna sit there and watch someone talk about their life and all this stuff? But you never know, because there have been times when I've watched other people's videos and it didn't make me feel alone, like in what I'm going through. Or just something, like if I was going through some medical complication, or a work issue, or a peer-related issue with a colleague or a friend, or dating. Because there's like, you find community and solidarity with other people. Because sometimes you feel alone, you know, like sometimes you feel like you're in a silo when you go through something hard, you know. Yes, I am in my pajamas. I woke up, it's like, oh my god, what time is it? It's 8:32 on a Saturday. That is a miracle. That is a miracle that I'm up this early. I'm gonna feed my dog some food. This poor dog. So my dog, I feel like she deserves an award for off. I feel like she deserves an award because she has been through so much with me. Like, we have gone through so much, her and I. And I'm gonna prop my phone, I guess, over here. I don't know. I'm gonna put it there. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. I have a lot of dishes to clean. I mean, not really dishes, it's more just like a bowl, a glass. I have a really small sink. I'm sorry if it's like not bright enough right now. Just this light is so, oh my god, that is such a bright light. Whoa, that is too bright for this morning, but I'm gonna make it work just while I feed her. I'm gonna grab her bowl. I don't know why. Honey, cuidado por favor. I don't know why, for the life of me. It was really weird. My air purifier thing was orange a second ago, and now it's green. It's supposed to be blue. I don't know. Go figure. So you can, I'm gonna feed her. Off, stop, off. I should have gotten my dog trained a long time ago. I felt like if I got her trained that she would lose part of her personality. So no, wait. So I got kind of reluctant. And the last time I had her trained, that was when I was in Virginia. And the guy seemed really nice, but he needed another person to bring in, because she's very like playful and she's very rambunctious, and very loving, but she has, and that's for an adult dog, she has a lot of energy. But I woke up this morning, first of all, I feel blessed to be alive. Last night was kind of rough. My lungs were hurting. I don't know why. If you followed my journey so far, I've talked about how I'm a TI, or targeted individual. I know I look as pale as a ghost right now. It's just because there's a really bright white light that like doesn't have a cap on it, like a shade on it. So it's just a bare light bulb. I usually give my dog dry food with the wet food, but I've been cutting back on like expenses and stuff, so So let me cover this here. I guess I can do some dishes while I do this at the same time. So something that is kind of, I woke up this morning and I was thinking, I was like, number one, I feel blessed to be alive. Like, I woke up. There's someone today who didn't wake up. You know, there's someone who literally did not wake up. Take that however you will. Whether that's someone in a hospital bed, whether that's someone at home, whether that's someone who got in a car accident or who got hurt or murdered or killed. You know, there's so many different things. Or sick, or, you know. Being targeted is a whole thing in of itself. You feel alone because it's a very hard experience to convey and communicate to people, because it's so avant-garde and it's so it's very hard to explain. I'm gonna take a little bit of this. I don't even know if this is safe to eat, but I'm hungry. I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten like regular food, like food in 3 days, I think. It's been like 2 or 3 days. My mouth was so dry. But yes, it's a very odd experience because no one touches you. It's very hard to prove. And what you're basically claiming is that a bunch of people in a community all gathered together to taunt and harass one person. And that they get your landlord in on it, or the maintenance crew. And they do secret little things to sabotage you. Basically, that's the premise of it. For me, it's kind of, oh my god, holy moly, that's like, there's too much stuff in the trash can. For me, I think I've had the worst of the worst of it, because what I'm saying sounds crazy. What I've been saying sounds crazy, that my food is tampered with or messed with or has stuff in it, my water. I think the hardest part are the beverages, the water, and because every time I've had some sort of liquid or beverage, I've felt like I've been poisoned, and I've never been poisoned before in my life. But that's what it feels like, and like, I don't know if any of you people have ever been poisoned. I hope and I pray to God not. There's only one video I've seen of a gentleman. He looks kind of Nordic or Swedish, and he explained how his housekeeper was slowly putting arsenic or something in his food or his water. So he said he felt very funny, like he had brain fog, and he felt like his cognitive processing was slower. And you would never imagine that, right? Like, you would never imagine that your housekeeper, of all people, would be doing that. And why? I don't know. But he did a whole expose. Literally a whole, I don't even know if this dish soap is safe. I'm not kidding, I'm scared to use dish soap. I've had incidences where I've used dish soap and it burns my skin. I am really sensitive to things, I will be honest. It smells really good. I'm gonna let that sit and soak for a little bit, I guess. So that's really the only recollection or account of someone who's discussed being poisoned before. For me, it's been very strange because I hope this is safe. But even when I inhale stuff, like certain fumes, I've inhaled like cleaning sprays before, and I nearly almost got knocked out. Don't ask me why or why someone would go as far to do that, but I don't know. It's very evil. But the hardest part for me that I'm trying to cope with right now is it smells like chlorine a little bit. I know I definitely need a filter for the sink because, like, I'm smelling it. The water smells a little bit like heavy metals. I mean, tap water isn't as clean. Like, if you go to Orlando and you smell their water, I love Orlando, but not to bash Orlando, but now it smells better. But you'll know what I mean. If you go to Disney World and you smell their water, it's pretty, like, pungent. But anyways, I woke up this morning and I was like, number one, thank God I woke up. Number two, my belly feels better, thank God. Sleep, let me tell you, sleep does wonders for the body. Like, sleep is a gift in of itself. I never realized how powerful sleep is because there's a lot of, I think, healing that goes on while you sleep. Never underestimate the power of sleep. Anyways, the one thing that came to my mind was, how do I let go? How do I let go of the hurt? How do I let go of the pain? How do I let go of the betrayal? How do I not carry this with me everywhere I go? And we all wear pain differently. We've all been through different things that have nearly destroyed us. Some people go through divorce. Some people go through miscarriages. I can't relate to that because I've never been married. I've never, like, had a relationship with someone where I've been with them for so long and then all of a sudden, you know, that breaks apart and then your whole life changes, you know. And I don't have kids either. Fortunately, I've never been fired from a job. Some people experience job loss out of nowhere, you know. Some people get hit with a lawsuit or something. I have yet, knock on wood, double knock. I haven't been met with that. I do have a lot of debt that I owe. And that's something that I'm also trying to, it's almost, I don't want to sound like a prissy diva when I say this, but it almost feels like I'm just, like, I'm very hurt, like, almost like it feels like, I don't know, I thought that, like, someone was going to come to my aid and, like, give me a letter or a message and be like, this is what's going on, this is why you're experiencing all this stuff, we're going to make sure that you stay safe, we're working on it, we're going to figure it out. That's what I thought was going to happen in the past year and a half to 2 years, even 3 years. And as time went on, and as I kept moving, I never heard back from anybody. And then I had family tell me, and this was hard to hear, and I don't understand why I was told this, because if I was someone's mom, if I was a mother or a parent, even if the situation seemed bleak, even if I didn't have all the resources to help my daughter or my son, you know, I would do whatever it is necessary to help my son or daughter with what they're going through, you know. But that's just me. I'll be weird. I just drank some water, and like my belly has like a rash all over it. You can't really tell here, but like, well, you can kind of tell. See, I drink water from, you know, and I have like a rash here and here. I mean, you can't really tell too much. Kind of ish. Looks weird, but sorry if that annoys someone. It's just weird for me, but I'm thirsty, you know. And if I drink bottled water, for some reason I get a really weird reaction in the back, and it feels like my heart's being pulverized and squeezed. So, but anyways, going back to what I was saying, I think the hardest pill to swallow, or the hardest truth to come to terms with or come to grips with, is the fact that like I never got the closure, and my family says, you know, no one's gonna ever help you, no one's ever gonna, like, you have to let it go, no one's ever gonna like tell you anything, no one's ever gonna come to your aid, and you know, and I've heard that repeatedly, and as someone who's been betrayed and gone through trauma, to hear that is like heartbreaking, because like I'm not a victim of rape, I'm not a victim of, like, no one's physically punched me or assaulted me, but I have been emotionally abused. I think narcissistic abuse, psychological abuse, and I do think, I mean, I don't know how you prove poisoning, I don't know how to prove intentional drugging, but I don't know how you categorize that. I don't even know how to prove that. And I would assume that constitutes some sort of assault, you know, whether it's medical assault or, I don't know. And I don't really want to go to court, and I don't even know who I'd be prosecuting, you know. But I do know, and I strongly feel, if you watch my other videos, that there is a crime that's going on relative to me, and the people that are doing it are getting away with it, you know. Sometimes I feel like a human guinea pig, if that makes sense. And that's not fair to me, right? Because I'm trying to live my life, and it's very hard when you eat food, and food is nourishment, right? Food is what nourishes you, food is what sustains you, water is what gives you life, your whole, Alexa, how much of your body is made up of water?
The human body is about 60% water.
60% water. So the human body is 60% water. So we're very aqueous, right? And here's the other thing, is that as a person, I'm naturally inquisitive. So like when I sense that something is off or something is wrong, it'll sit with me. Like I'll feel, like it'll be in my bones. I'll feel it in my bones, like that there's something off and there's something wrong, and I know that there is. And to be gaslit and told, oh, everything's fine, is like the most invalidating feeling ever. And I'm struggling with, and I did a video about this before, moving on, like moving past betrayal. Like, how do you let go and how do you fully surrender? Because I did a reading. I might do an early morning reading now. I'm not sure, because I do have a nice deck of cards that's called like the Earth Nature Blessings deck. It's a very beautiful deck. It's I'm gonna wash this real quick. It's I have such a small sink. It's crazy. I've never seen like such a small sink in my life. It's like one of the sinks that you see at a hotel or a motel. I don't know how I'm gonna clean this. I'm trying to clean this. But you know what? I can't do it. It's just I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. Can't do it. Anyways, as I was saying, are you sitting by me? I know you're thirsty. I know. And this poor dog, like, she doesn't even want to drink the bottled water because she knows something is up with it. Like, she feels funky after she drinks it. So I'm really, really struggling with trying to figure out oh my god, my mouth is so dry. Oh my god, my mouth is so dry. My mouth is so dry. I know, liver. I'll figure it out. So, my biggest thing lately is like how, like the first thing that came to my mind this morning, I was like, thank God I'm alive. I made it through another night. My lungs were killing me last night. Like I had to go like this over and over again on my chest. I know that sounds weird, but I did. I had to like slap my chest. And I know I don't have cystic fibrosis because I know that. But I don't know how to let go, and I don't know how to surrender, because I feel like and it's weird because one of my readings like a few days ago, it said surrender, wish, change. And we could do that really quickly, like a quick morning read situation while my dishes soak a little bit, and then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for the day. I feel so grateful, honestly, that I'm alive. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm not kidding, I go, I'm alive. My little post-it fell. I need to get tape. It's one of my favorite post-its that I made recently. It says, you can do hard things that scare you. God will protect you. Just pray, focus on your goals, go, fight, win. I have that on my dry erase board. But it keeps falling down, but it's almost, maybe it's like God or the universe's way of telling me, like, just keep focusing and pray through the pain, because it is very, very hard. It's very, very painful. I don't wish being a targeted person on anybody. It's really, really horrible. The people that bother you and bully you, it doesn't matter who you are, what you say, how honest you are, how sweet you are, how kind you are. These people, rules don't apply to them, I guess. They don't really care, like, how their actions affect you. But in other things, let's do, like, I feel compelled to do a quick, I know it's not Spiritual Sunday, but maybe we'll do, like, I don't know, what would be something Saturday? slow day Saturday. I don't know. But yeah, I did do a reading before, and it said surrender, wish, change. I'm sorry if my hair looks really greasy. It might look super greasy and icky and bad and weird. But, you know, it's hair. It's early morning bedhead hair. I feel grateful to have hair. I've been losing my hair. And that's another thing, is that because my brain is so naturally inquisitive, I automatically gravitate and I see, okay, this is what I mean. This is, I guess I didn't shuffle it after. That's what I mean. It said surrender. May you release the old. And if you look at the imagery, it's very peaceful, very placid, very serene. There's a lake, mountains. These look like rocks. I thought they were rocks. Now I don't know what they are. I thought they were river rocks. So I have to shuffle these a little bit. This is another one of my favorite cards where it says rest. In my mind, I'm like, I wish I could be here. I wish I could be sitting right there at the edge of the pier. Or the dock, I guess, with my feet hanging off. Hopefully there wouldn't be any sharks in the water. But, I mean, tell me that's not beautiful, to look out and see like a beautiful sunset. Oh, funny enough, and then the next one on the deck, it says miracle. This, I don't know where this is. This looks like Scottish Highlands or somewhere in like the farmlands, because there's like different fences and rolling hills. You can sort of see the fence here. That's another thing lately. I've kind of been like, man, that's one of the not the downsides of Pinterest. Pinterest is this wonderful app to let your creativity soar and let your imagination run free, and you know, it's fun to, you know, say at one point hopefully I can have, like, when I do Pinterest, I'll pin like different clothes that I see, like cute outfits. I can't afford them right now, but I will do that. Or I used to pin a lot of travel locations years ago. Like I was like, I wanted like all the pictures of France, forget about it. Like that, I had a Paris folder, I had an Italy folder. I don't know if I had a Belgium folder. I can't remember what other places. Maybe Norway. I know I think Edinburgh. I don't know if it's Edinburgh. Is that Scotland? There's a castle. Again, there was a screensaver I saw somewhere and I was like, I want to go there. So I don't really focus on that too much because traveling costs a lot of money. And with my dog, I know it would be difficult to go to and from different places, and I don't really trust her being boarded with someone, even though I know there's very qualified individuals that love dogs and everything, but I don't know how Bonnie, she's very attached to me. Like even when I leave to go, when I leave to go anywhere, and I look on the doggy cam or I look on my phone, and she's like sitting right by the door. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm struggling with, I don't know how to feel safe, number one. And Brene Brown, I remember, it's stuck with me, like, forever. She says you can't heal in the same place that hurt you, or that's hurting you. And I wish people that, because people that don't understand trauma, or trauma survival, when you're in survival mode, you can't think straight. Your eating habits get thrown off, your sleeping habits, everything gets thrown off. Look at my hair. Hi, Booger. And it's frustrating. And then trying to relay that to someone, whether it's a family member who may not be going through it, or maybe, I don't know. is difficult because they can't relate, because they're like, why is she complaining about this? How is it possible that she's saying, oh, her food is being poisoned, her water, like, we don't see it, like, but I know it. Hi, baby. Hi, lady. Fanny's giving me this look right now. I wish can I record it? She's resting her head on my lap. Hello. 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 Do you get head scratches? This is what she does, so when I'm working, this is what she does most of the day. So I feel very lucky to have this dog, and I'm scared that something could happen to her, because just like I get targeted, she's targeted too, whether I like it or not. And I don't know what I'm going to do about her water, because, yeah. So if anyone has any tips at all about how to let go and how to feel safe after betrayal or trauma, and if you say, well, move, you can't stay in the same, my hair, I know this doesn't seem glamorous right now, but I have a knot in my hair, and I'm like, I have naturally wavy hair. Oh, look at that, exciting stuff. I have naturally wavy hair. That's why I say thallium. Thallium poisoning will do that to you. I know also stress and thyroiditis or hypo or hyperthyroidism. I'm trying to be gentle with it. So, oh my goodness gracious. I just say, oh my Lanta. And I can't just comb it out, like people do, where they just comb their hair like that. My hair would turn into like a bush, a bush of hair. So, yeah. The other weird thing is, oddly enough, for some reason, I feel like the people that are also doing this stuff in a very strange way, I think they almost see it as like I do think there's a religious component or aspect to it, and they're trying to see how far I would go. I'm not saying that in a Moana sense. I'm saying that, like, it's almost like I feel like they're trying to test me and see, because what's happening is, if you restrict, see how my skin turns, well, you can't really tell, a little pale. It's usually when I know there's some poison or something. It's like when my skin gets a little bit pale. I'm gonna go over here and get some dry shampoo really quickly, because I don't want my hair to be greasy. But in a weird way, I do think that there's some very, and that's not normal for people to do that to other people, to put them through dire circumstances and restrict them or ban them from regular luxuries of daily living. Being able to have clean food, clean water, non-toxic food, non-toxic water. And it's almost like, in a weird way, they want to reenact some biblical thing, and they want to test me out to see if I can live off the land, and it's bizarre. I really do think it's some sick group of individuals. I'm sorry, and if you're watching this, and if you're one of the people that, if you're one of the group of people that is part of it or facilitating it, and you're like, oh man, she figured it out. Because I feel like there's been this running theme of camping, where people have been wanting me to either move to the West Coast or live in like a yurt, my hair, or live in like some forest, or like literally go camping. I'm not kidding. And the reason why I say this is because for some, and I don't look up camping stuff. There was one point on my Pinterest, all that came up was like camping, like camping accessories. Buy this tent. Sorry, I had to put my hair in a ponytail. It's just like, I can't. You know, and I know that sounds very strange, and you say, Ashley, why would someone do that to you? Like, why would someone, I don't know. I asked the same question. I don't know. I don't know if it's just a test of survival. You know, there are people out there that will do that. There's been movies about that kind of, sort of, when you think of the Hunger Games, where they pick a tribute from every district and every, you know, and then they have them fight to, you know, unfortunately, I mean, they have them hurt each other, which is terrifying, which I would never, ever do. But in some way, I feel like I've been in my own Hunger Games, if that makes sense. And this is why it's been so hard to let go, and my body is so traumatized. And it's not fair to treat another human like that. And I think these people know that. They know what they're doing is wrong. They know that they're inflicting harm and injury on me. And they know, I strongly sense intuitively, psychically, they know that, not to say my hands are tied, but they have some power over me because, like coercion, because they essentially, whoever they are, have enough power to call up a vendor or a manufacturer and say, hey, put this in her thing, or put this in this bottle, or this whatever, or she buys this a lot, put this in there. And it's not that I'm stubborn, it's just that, like, human rights dictates that you can't treat people like that. Humans are not meant to be bought and sold, number one, because that's trafficking. Humans are not meant to be played with like toys or puppets. And there has been a running theme for 6 years now where I don't know why. People around me, whether it's been colleagues, co-workers, employers, people I pass by, they'll mention camping. Like, I've heard camping all the time. And I feel like someone wants to see me go through that experience, and I'm like, and the reason why I say that is because, and if you've listened to my vlogs, the stuff that I've gone through, I've explained how every apartment I've been in, I've had weird noxious gases sprayed or exposed upon me, whether it's like really cold air, like nitrous gas or something, which you would say, oh, that's harmless, like that's not harmful. Well, if you have all your windows closed, and hear me out when I say this, if you have all your windows closed, you could die from asphyxiation, because copious amounts of oxygen or nitrous gas or nitrogen, it could be fatal. It's not good for the brain. You can have a hypoxic ischemic attack, which is basically when you lack oxygen to the brain. And it could be detrimental or nearly fatal. I've also had times where I've had literally like what felt like asphyxiants. If you don't know what that is, an asphyxiant is something that can make you suffocate. Or maybe it's something that simulates suffocation. And if you're not asthmatic and you don't have the proper things on hand to help rejuvenate or revitalize your lungs, you can, the oxygen displacement, what happens is you can go into, I mentioned this before, acidosis, where you have higher levels of CO2 and lower levels of oxygen, so you would be oxygen deprived and become cyanotic. So that's dangerous. And I've also experienced other weird gases where I feel like my hair is so stringy. I used to have so much more hair. Like, I used to have so much more hair. I can't take this. I can't look at this. I'm sorry. Like, I need a ponytail. I was so not used to, like, if you saw my pictures when I was in high school or like college, I used to have a huge head of hair. Like Christine Daae. Like, if you don't know Phantom of the Opera, Christine Daae is one of the main characters, and she has this it was Emmy Rossum played the part, and she has this beautiful head of hair, like voluptuous horse's mane, head of hair. And I've lost a lot of hair, so I just when I say it looks so thin, and anyways, as I was saying, before I mentioned Christine Daae, wonderful musical, by the way. It's kind of sad though, because if you've never seen Phantom of the Opera, the guy the story of the Phantom, he was in love with Christine, or he actually essentially stalked her, which is kind of scary when you think about it. I watched it back like a second or third time, and I was like, man, this guy was like obsessed, and then he almost tried to kidnap her, and like took her to his lair or his chambers, and he had like a shrine of her and in like a wedding gown. But she really, Raoul was the one that was the more practical suitor, because he was more normal and not as obsessive and stuff. But anyways, I digress. But as I was saying, I've noticed this slow progression. If I look back at everything that I've experienced, the people that did all this stuff, they slowly and progressively, like, they made my world very small. And it was gases, which, how do I prove that? How do you prove that to an officer? How do you say, hey, Mr. Officer, or ma'am officer, I don't know, ma'am, Mrs. Officer, I'm experiencing this, and this, and it's very scary. I think I did tell one officer when I was back home in Miami, because I was sensing weird stuff in my room, like my childhood room, because that's where I lived the majority of my life. And I told him, I was like, I have these air quality meters, and they show like slight toxicity. And he's like, oh, do you think it's COVID? Maybe are you having issues? Maybe do you have COVID or asthma? And I'm like, not that I know of, sir, And he was a nice cop, but like, because I put a watch, like when my dad went out of town, I put a watch on my house, so like, my mom and I would be safe, Anyways, as I was saying, hold on, my chest hurts a little bit. And this is what I mean, is that if you restrict water from someone, like regular tap water and bottled water, the next thing would be, okay, where else can I get water, And you would think a lake, a river, a body of water. But the thing is, I don't have fishing gear, I don't have survival gear, I don't have camping gear. And I really shouldn't have to do that anyways. But this is my life. This is why I'm saying it's so unfair and it's so unjust, and I don't know how to move past this. And people are making it very, very, very hard to live. Because what you get to have every day, I don't have those luxuries. I don't have safe water. Even my bottled water is not safe. My food, that's another thing. I feel like people wanted me, because I think now what they started tampering with my food, so the goal is to get me to live off the land, go off grid, become some hunter fisherman. I don't have time for that. And that's just pure hatred on someone else's part, because I'm an American citizen and I'm human and I deserve to be treated with respect. And I can't prove any of this. What I'm saying sounds crazy, and I recognize that. And I'm kind of saying, it sounds redundant. And I know probably what someone would say, okay, if this is really happening to this woman, then why isn't anyone helping her? Well, that's where I say corruption comes into play. Because why is it that every vendor, every store I go to, and would people go as far as telling a city within a certain mile radius, don't go to this, because for some reason I feel like the city or the people, the townspeople around me maybe have been alerted somehow, don't go to this store, or if you shop, be mindful of this, or someone has to be notified, because then everyone in the city would be sick. But the thing is that's a humiliation ritual, to try to oust me, because it makes me feel like I'm not welcomed. And I don't have enough money to buy an RV or a camper van or a car. I don't have a car. And so they've basically pigeonholed me and are torturing me every day by having me drink this toxic, non-safe water and food. And those are the very things that you need to survive and sustain yourself, right? We all need food, we all need water, or else you'll die of starvation. So it's either die of starvation, or die of possibly get sick every day, feel extreme pain, and be tortured. And then going to an ER is futile, because they're going to look at me sideways and be like, because I already asked them, do you test for heavy metals? They're like, no. So every day I feel like I wake up and I'm like, it's a miracle. 48 on the clock. I'm going to look that up. I've never seen 48 twice, so I'm just going to write that down. I guess it's relevant for some reason. I'm just really thirsty right now. I don't even know if it's safe to have that water, but I'm thirsty. What else? But navigating through trauma, betrayal, hurt, I don't know. It's very difficult, because, and the other part that I'm really struggling with is the financial aspects of things, because there was a time when I had money. I was sitting pretty, I had a good little nest egg of wealth saved. You know, I don't mind sharing, I said this before, I had like $100,000, and I was gonna go to OT school. And if you don't know what that means, it's occupational therapy, and I specifically wanted to work with kids with special needs and pediatrics. And we had it all set up. I had the money set aside to pay for OT school. It was like 2 years, and I had retirement funds. I had stock. And then just from 1 minute to the next, my life changed. And I regret that day ever since. You piss off someone and you don't know who they know. One thing could just be the catalyst to creating a domino effect of just snowballing into something. And now I sit here with debt that I never thought I would have. And I keep going, God, like, when are, you know, like, I prayed to God yesterday. I was like, I cried. I cried. Because it's hard to find help too. It's hard to find people to be your allies or to help you. Because once they help you, they're susceptible or liable to being targeted too, or bullied. And let me tell you, when you get bullied and you get targeted, people who facilitate it are ruthless. When I say ruthless, I mean they are relentless in making your life hell. Like their mission, a gang stalker's mission, or a perp, their mission, whether honeypot, whatever, is you. Like, their mission is to completely undermine and sabotage your life, whether it be psychologically, physically, whatever. And they'll treat it like a game. They'll watch you suffer. They'll notate your moods and your fluctuations in behavior. And they'll notice, I think, too, they'll write down what triggers you. They'll write, okay, this is her trigger. She hates people that are dishonest. She hates men that lie or cheat, or lack fidelity. She is not a fan of people that smoke incessantly, you know, like smoking cigarettes. Like, I remember one day when I was coming home, there was a woman walking in front of me, and very, very, very obviously she was smoking, and she blew like right in my path, you know, and she was in front of me, so it wafted in the air, and I was just like, you know, like, it was, so I sped up and I walked as fast as I could, you know. And it's things like that. They'll learn your idiosyncrasies and subtleties, and they'll try to play on that. Like, they know that, and I don't know what it means, and I don't know why they do it. The white thing. It's funny, I'm wearing white, but this is like a happy white to me. This is not a white of mourning or grieving or whatever. This is like with my pink flowers, it's not what, like, death or grieving. And that's something that I've noticed that they'll do lately, is that they'll use white to, like, white flowers, people in white clothing, and that's supposed to play on your psyche, you know. And then I'm empathic, and I like to help people, so, and they know that as well. And sometimes I even wonder if they place certain people on my path, like a homeless person, because they know that I'll give to them and I can't afford to do that. So like, I've had that happen before in Virginia. And they'll turn something good into something, they'll try to use that to their favor, to their advantage, to lure you in some way. It's really sick. I've tried to keep a positive attitude and a positive spirit throughout the whole thing. It's hard, let me tell you, to keep your spirits high when everything around you feels so bleak. And in my heart, I believe in miracles. You know, I believe that anything is possible. I know if I saw someone hurting, you know, I would help them. Like, especially if it was a woman. If I knew that there was a young woman who was living alone, who was being brutally, what it felt like, I was going to say assassinated, but brutally abused, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, even physically, because this is physical abuse. It may not be like, oh, I'm being beaten to death and punched and strangled, but poisoning someone is assault. That's violence. Poisoning someone is a crime. I don't care what like, I may not have the tangible physical proof, but I know someone does. I know it without a shadow of a doubt in the bottom of my heart. And I assume that the ones doing it have a lot of power and a lot of money. And they're trying to get away with murder, essentially. Because they know. Everyone knows. Arsenic, lead, mercury, thallium, these are things that are not supposed to be placed or ingested inside the human body, let alone Botox, let alone venom. You expose that to someone repeatedly, that's gonna, like, I know, like, I'm sorry if this is TMI, which is too much information, but if you don't know what that acronym is, when I urinate, my urine is a dark orange, like an orangish yellow color. And that indicates to me liver stuff. It could also mean dehydration, but my urine never used to be that color. My urine has usually been either close to clear or a light pale yellow. Never has it been a dark amber or like an orangish yellow color. And that could mean heavy metal, you know. And I know you can say, oh, there's different things you can do for heavy metals and to clear your body, but I've even gone so far where I've bought supplements, and those supplements for somehow, some way, were tampered with when they arrived. They were a different color, or a different consistency, or a different product altogether. So I don't know who has the ability to bypass. Well, they know, because if my phone is hacked, they know what I buy. So who would spend all their waking hours or moments keeping tabs on a young woman just to figure out how to sabotage and undermine her and prevent her from having a normal, happy, healthy, safe, prosperous life? I feel like someone very strongly does not want me to get married or date as well. I don't know why. I feel like someone is very possessive and very controlling, and they don't want me to partner up with someone or a specific individual. I don't know who, I don't know what. So just some early morning thoughts. And now when I say the word morning, that also frustrates me because it makes me think like mourning, like mourning. But by the grace of God, I always wake up and my belly feels better and my body feels better. I don't know. It feels it really does feel, honestly, like miraculous. It feels like a miracle, because when I tell you, like, last night I was in such pain. My lungs were killing me. Like, I don't even know why. And I go, is it a gas? Like, is it something that I ate? I had to throw out all my orange juice. I bought a huge canister of orange juice, Tropicana. I love Tropicana. I used to drink that as a little girl religiously. That was my shit. Tropicana was my go-to, for my lunch for years. And I know it has a lot of citric acid and stuff, but I loved it. I used to get the little teeny tiny carton, and you get the little straw. And when I tell you the amount of pain I was in after I drank that orange juice, I don't know what someone put in it, but it was terrifying. And I felt like I had been poisoned, and I had, I don't know what going through, like, coursing through my veins. And I had to throw it out. I had to throw out wine as well. Brand new bottle of wine. I didn't buy it, my parents bought it, but I drank some of that. Felt very strange after that. Oh, here come the sirens. I'm gonna close the door for a second, because I just don't like sirens. I really don't like sirens. Sorry, no, I don't like the sirens. Oh, it's so much better. Thank God. No more sirens. No more sirens. Sirens are gone. I can't hear them anymore. I closed the door. So yeah. I used to sometimes think of the sirens as like warning signs, like, be careful. But now I don't look at it like that. Because it's like, even if someone was trying to warn me in some way, there's nothing that they could do about it. I already went to the ER when I had the fevers and stuff, and I mean, I was already at the tail end, I think, of having viral meningitis, and they did an EKG. The IV they gave me hurt like hell. I don't know why they gave me the pink catheter. They should have done the blue catheter. My veins weren't even big enough for that size catheter. Go figure. I'm not a nurse or a doctor, but, like, you know, so. And if you're dehydrated, the worst thing to do, you don't give someone a pink catheter. You're supposed to do either a baby catheter or, like, you know, because you could do more harm than good. I don't want to put down the medical system. I'm just frustrated. You know, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna cope through this. I really don't. I know I tell myself anything is possible. I tell myself, you know, miracles can happen. But I just feel like it's a crime. And they're just blatantly, the people facilitating it know that what they're doing is wrong. And they're rubbing it in my face. Like, haha, we can do this to you. You're helpless. We control your food. You belong to us. Like, that kind of thing. That's what it feels like. I've been nervous about being organ trafficked. I'll be honest. I'm going to be very, very honest and candid. I'm nervous about being organ trafficked because, you know, my organs are still intact for the most part, it seems like. But, if you don't get the adequate nutrition you need, my body would, and if you get inundated or flooded or doused, whether it's in a shower or whatever, with heavy metals, that's gonna hurt your body eventually. Your body will start to decompensate. Your blood will become dirty. Your organs may start to experience some sort of necrosis or organ failure. Your nervous system will start to go haywire. Like, I've been seeing a lot of little white floaty thingies, not floaters, but like bright little lights. I had really weird prism vision thing like 2 days ago. That was terrifying. That's never happened to me in my life. And I'm not my own doctor. And I just feel like whoever's doing this is they're rubbing it in my face. And they feel like they want to push me to the brink to see, okay, let's see how far we can get her to, let's get her to move to a desolate area, a remote area, and have her guarding. That's what I feel like someone wants me to do, is like live off the land, garden. And I'm like, do you know how long it takes to grow fruit? And you can't, the human body, I mean, I'll be honest, like I love animals. I love animals, they're cuddly, they're cute, but when your body needs protein, like, you have to heed that and listen to that. So if your body needs turkey or chicken or meat or steak or whatever, that's your body going, you need protein, because those are amino acids, and protein is the building block. Amino acids are the building blocks for the body. And your mitochondria, like the mitochondrial health of your cells, which mitochondria, if you don't know, they create ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate, and that is what creates energy. That's, if I'm not mistaken, because this is so long ago, glucose is what, I don't know, glucose is, I don't know if it's ATP creates glucose or glucose turns into ATP, and then ATP is used to help facilitate energy in the body. So if you don't get enough of that, your body doesn't produce ATP, then you essentially experience cell death. And when you experience cell death, which is, I think, apoptosis, I'm trying to remember, this is so long ago, then basically your body will shut down. And so imagine with me, if I'm constantly ingesting like unsafe things, that's detrimental. So, meaning it'll do more harm than good, meaning it's not beneficial. So I don't know really what to do, because I can't afford to buy land somewhere, you know, like in Texas or Tennessee or Vermont or New Hampshire, or, you know, go out of the country and, you know, start my life over, because I feel like it would carry over to wherever I would go to. And then I'm looking at my little thing, and it says, you are strong, you are resilient, you will defeat this. United Nations Day, Tuesday, October 24th. And I just, in my heart, I genuinely don't know who I pissed off. That's the craziest part about this whole thing. I don't know who I pissed off. I don't know any vendors. And the craziest part is that I'm a supporter of majority of the vendors that I purchase from, whether it's Procter & Gamble, I don't know what I should know the other ones, Kraft Foods, Nabisco, and if it's maybe some test, maybe it's some like maybe it's some behavioral thing. I don't know. That's very, very cruel to do that to someone, because I need to focus on making income and sustaining myself, not playing the real life version of the survival games. You know, like Survivor, where they go to an island and they have to live off the island. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to play who's the last man standing or who can survive or whatever. Like, I don't have time to do that. I mean, this past week at work, because I do think my water has something in it, because I felt disoriented and weird. Because my baseline, I'm very coherent and I'm very, like, I know there's a word lackadaisical, but like, my point is, so different antipsychotics or even antidepressants, they alter the brain's chemistry and they have different effects. Sometimes they can cause sedation, some can cause loopiness, dizziness, drowsiness, disorientation, heart palpitations. And so I do think someone is messing with or has messed with my water and stuff. And I didn't tell my employers this. It's like I feel like I felt off, and I'm like, it was hard to concentrate sometimes. And that's not fair to me, because I'm trying to focus and concentrate, and that's why I say, to me it feels like medical assault. And I keep wondering and waiting, when is someone gonna tell me the truth? When is someone gonna, like, be like, and this is where, and I love Disney, but sometimes I wonder if it did us a disservice growing up, because Disney movies, and I love Walt Disney. Walt Disney as a person, I think he birthed this world where he gave hope to people, and he showed people that you can be imaginative and creative, and you can believe that you can be, do, or have anything that you want. And it's silly, because you're like, oh, it's a mouse, but it's like, I don't know, to me, the whole world that he created and the stories that he created through the legacy and the filmmaking, they always have some heartwarming component to it, or a lesson about morality or ethics. And I'm sorry if I cry, it's just, I just didn't think my life would turn out this way. I feel like someone sabotaged my life on purpose and tried to get me sick on purpose. Whether it was like mental health stuff, like trying to put me in mental anguish on purpose, or physical health. And growing up watching Disney films and stuff, it made you believe that you can go through the hardest of things, the hardest of trials and tribulations, and there will be some miraculous, turn of events, or a guardian angel or something, I may be overly idealistic, but I feel very hurt and very betrayed. And no one deserves that. No one deserves mental abuse. No one deserves emotional abuse, narcissistic abuse. And that does something to your brain repeatedly, like being exposed to trauma over and over again, and having to pick yourself up and try again, and then survive, and then do the same thing all over. that does something to your brain. It literally, it changes the shape of your brain. It affects your memory, like your hippocampus, where your memory is, your short-term and long-term. Your frontal lobe, your amygdala, where all your emotions are governed. And I feel blessed that I still have my memory somewhat intact, you know, after all the shit that I've been through. But I don't know how to survive this, because I feel like someone on purpose is doing a very criminalistic thing, and they're making it very hard. And this really sad part is that no one's telling me. Nobody. Either I get gaslit and people say, oh, that's not happening. You're fine. Who would do that to you? No one's tampering with your food or water. And I don't want to sit there and be like Miss Conspiracy Theorist, because that's not who I am, and say, oh, but maybe they're on an antidote. You know, like, meaning like someone, let's say they come visit me, someone comes to visit me, I have the bad water, toxic water, and they also try it, but they're on an antidote, so it won't affect them, but it'll affect me. And then, so now I look cuckoo, right? I'll look cuckoo and crazy, and they'll look normal, because they'll be like, well, Ash, like, I'm fine, you know, so I don't really know. And that's that's one of my biggest fears, is that one day I'll meet a really wonderful man, and he'll be like secretly a perp or a gang stalker in on it, and then he'll gaslight me to believe that everything's fine and that it's all in my head. And that's one of my biggest concerns and my fears, and that's why I have to be so discerning of character, because a real man, a gentleman, won't gaslight you for anything. Forget about gang stalking and targeting and poisoning or drugging. A real man will, and I have yet to meet someone like this. A real man, or even a friend, it's like a soldier, they'll be by your side, you know, in your platoon, in the trenches, and they'll say, you know, I'm with you in this, and like, maybe I can't completely relate to you, but I'm not gonna doubt you, and I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna figure it out. Because unfortunately, I didn't really get that with my family. And I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're watching, because my parents have watched my channel. And the comments that I've heard from them are, you know, nothing's wrong with you, everything's fine, and well, I don't feel fine, and my spidey senses are tingling. You know, like in Spider-Man, like my spidey senses are tingling in the sense that I know something is wrong. You can't mess with a woman's intuition. So, I don't really know where to go from here. I really don't. I've lived another week. I always tell myself, oh, the week before, oh, that's my last week. I probably won't make it. And then by the grace of God, I wake up. It's a miracle, because I'm telling you, the stuff that I feel like I'm ingesting or I've been exposed to, thallium kills. Thallium straight up can kill you. Arsenic can kill you. Cyanide can kill you. Botox can kill you. Strychnine, which I learned about that from Gilmore Girls. I didn't know what that was. It's a really, 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 don't look it up. Don't look it up, because you're going to terrify it. You'll scare yourself. And to think that someone is trying to do that to me is absolutely terrifying. because I want to live my life. I don't want to die. And I feel like someone's trying to assassinate me or and Bonnie. And I'm not holy. I don't consider myself holy, you know, Holy. I don't consider myself that. I consider myself lucky, very, very lucky. I just don't know when this is gonna stop. And I don't want to go camping. I don't want to live in a tent. What am I supposed to do with work out of a, you know, with my laptop out of a tent? I don't have a car, you know. Where am I supposed to go, to the forest of Illinois? I don't. And that's what I feel like these people want me to do, is live in some remote area in the middle of nowhere and forest and go foraging for berries like Christopher McCandless and Into the Wild. And I don't want to do that. I don't know, you know, other people, when they're targeting experiences, they talk a lot about street theater and psychological warfare and people coming into their homes and rearranging stuff and honking their horns and loud noises and, you know, noise harassment. For me, it's escalated into full just, like, it's so weird, is because I'm not on a watch list. It feels like I'm banned. Like, I feel like I'm banned from proper health care. I feel like I'm banned from grocery stores. I don't know why. I don't know why. I've even, and I know this sounds crazy, I've entered stores, like marketplaces, where it's been hard to breathe in a weird, like, I'll stand under a certain area and there'll be like a vent, I guess, on top, and I've noticed, and I'm like, and it's like hard to breathe a little bit, and I'm like, what's going on? And that's where I tell myself, is this trafficking? Because if you knock someone out unconscious, right, that's trafficking. Like, and I've managed, either I wear a mask or I've managed to hold my breath and I go, Ashley, just breathe. Because I prayed to God many years ago. I go, God, I said, please, no matter what, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you look like, but I'm going to pray to you anyways. And I said, no matter what, please, I don't ever want to get kidnapped or captured and knocked unconscious and put in the back of a van or taken somewhere to some nondescript location. I prayed to God over and over again. The only saving grace I've had was one gentleman who mentioned to me about, and I never considered trafficking before in my life. I never did. And this is where I have a problem with my family, because they don't believe that that could be happening to me. My dad's like, you're not being trafficked. I'm like, well, every car that I've been in, I've had issues with, either with the tires, like rental cars, and I've had weird gases been emitted through the air vents, or like they'll mix the breaker fluid with something, and then, so I've had weird shit go on. And the hotels I stayed at along the way were also very strange. So to say I'm confused is an understatement. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for answers. And I feel like someone's withholding information from me that's critical information. And I don't know when cops are gonna take it seriously, because imagine if you can prevent someone from being kidnapped or killed. Why would you not, or trafficked, why would you not tell them? Isn't that their, like, civic duty to prevent harm? I feel like I'm barely hanging on, and I get very lucky every time. You know? Like I'm waiting, like in the workplace, for something to happen to me, like, oh, you're not performing at the level that we want you to, or like I'm waiting for something like that to happen. Unfortunately, I know that sounds bad, but you know, but what people also don't realize is that behind the scenes, what I'm going through and struggling through, I can't tell an employer, hey, by the way, I'm being targeted and poisoned and drugged against my own will. I've had to move 5 or 6 times, and you know, I was financially sabotaged and almost scammed, basically, and tricked and duped. I've been stalked, hacked, cyberbullied. You know, I haven't even had a regular lunch. I don't even eat regular lunch. Like, you know, people when they go on lunch break, I don't have a lunch break. Like, on lunch break, maybe I'll nap, or I'll hang out with my dog, or I'll do surveys or Pinterest. So I do feel like there's an element of crime behind what's going on with me. And the sad part is that I feel like I've had to figure it out on my own. But I don't have a badge. So even if I was able to gather evidence and build a case, they'd probably dismiss it because they'd go, you know, and that's the truth. Anyways, I do have, let's see what is, you know, here. I keep telling myself, maybe if I write down, you know, like affirmations where they say, you know, focus on, where it says attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, mirror what you admire. Attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, mirror what you admire. I try to remind myself that, and I go, well, if you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. It's just really hard to feel energetic and happy when you're being poisoned. It's really hard. And it hurts like hell, because it hurts your heart, it hurts your lungs, it hurts your belly, it hurts your body, it hurts everything. So the first card that came out is, and you saw it kind of fall out maybe. These are poppy flowers on the back. I always love looking at this card because I think they're poppy flowers. But it says alchemy, may you find your gold. What comes to mind is stay golden, I guess. And those are wheat crops, right? I think those are wheat crops, or barley. Isn't there a song called Fields of Gold? I'm gonna keep going, but maybe wheat is relevant, but maybe the message that comes out for me may also be relevant for you, you know? It says, now you can literally take it literally. It says, may you find your gold. Now, maybe you have actual gold. I don't know. Or it could maybe be whatever, you know, gold is very opulent. Gold is very, like, rich, right? Something that's golden is, isn't there a song by a K-pop group? Or no? We're golden or something like that? I don't know. But anyways, let me make this brighter. Whee! Hold on. Oh my gosh. No, that's too bright. It's too bright. I need a ponytail or something. Hold on. I need a ponytail. Oh, goodness gracious. I do have a ponytail. It's right here. Never mind. I do have a ponytail. I do, but I might. Anyways, so may you find your gold. I love that card because it's very pretty. Just because it makes me think of like a sunrise or like the sun shining on like some crops. May you find your gold. I mean, it could literally be like, it could mean actual gold. Maybe you have like gold something, or it could just mean alchemy, like changing something bad into something good, you know? Ziggy, what's the definition of alchemy?
Alchemy is a medieval practice that aimed to transform base metals into gold and discover life-extending elixirs. It's a mix of early chemistry and philosophy that was popular during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. Want to learn about some famous alchemists throughout history?
No, I was wrong. I thought it meant something else. Is there another definition of alchemy? Ziggy, is there another definition of alchemy?
Besides the medieval quest for gold, alchemy also means any magical process that turns something cheap into something valuable. It can even refer to metaphorical transformation, like reshaping ideas or oneself.
Okay, I don't know. I thought alchemy meant like you can alchemize something, you can transform something.
Oh, you're thinking about actual alchemy. That's the fascinating medieval science that tried to transform ordinary metals into gold and discover life-extending elixirs. It's like the original startup dream, turning cheap stuff into valuable stuff.
Anyways, it says, may you find your gold. Could mean literal gold, could mean alchemy, like changing a situation or transforming a situation from something negative to something positive.
Exactly. When people talk about getting literal gold, they're using alchemy as a metaphor for turning a messy situation into something valuable, like spiritual or personal growth.
Okay. Are you done? Are you done? I'm gonna wait till she is. She's like, you can tell when it's still on because a little blue light will turn on. So you can have literal gold, maybe, or maybe you alchemize things that are messy or hard or sticky situations into something more valuable or more positive. You know, maybe you have that ability to do that, like an alchemist, but not like a literal alchemist, like where you're making stuff, but like maybe, you know. Anyways, so. Okay, see, this is, okay, surrender. This is what came out before. Whoa! I was so bright. I don't know why I was. It said, surrender. May you release the old. See, that's what came up before. Like, let go. Let it be. In the words of Paul McCartney and the Beatles, let it be. Let it be. It's so hard. Let me tell you, this is one of the hardest things to do in life ever, because you don't know. We want, as humans, we want so much control. Like, I'm being so serious. Like, we want so much control. At least, I mean, not control. I'm someone, I do like to know about the outcome of things. I like to know how things will turn out. I don't do well with uncertainty. And it's not really about waiting, you know? It's not about, you know, because there's something, you know, they say patience is a virtue, or there's something, there's a quote that says there's virtue in patience or something like that. So, you know, maybe be patient, but may you release the old, surrender old ways of thinking, old ways of being. It's hard though. especially when you feel like, for me, I'm just going to be candid, is that when you feel unsafe, this is the hardest thing to do, is to let go. Because you feel like if you let go, then you can get hurt again. Or like someone could come in and trick you and scam you and dupe you. Now, and they say, but Ashley, if you have faith, if you believe in the divine, then you'll know that you're covered. And that you'll know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and whatever the devil or whatever someone has planned for you, it'll fail. And I get that, but it scares me shitless. I've never been in this situation before. I've never thought I would go on YouTube and talk about my life while I'm in my pajamas on a Saturday morning, doing a card reading, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out why I'm being targeted or gang stalked or whatever. Because I'm innocent. I would never hurt anybody. I never have, I never will, I have no desire to. I care deeply about humanity and people. I'm a child advocate. So I am deeply hurt and deeply confused. And I'm also very hurt by law enforcement, too. And the military a little bit, because I was bullied a little bit by those people, especially when I moved to Philadelphia. And I don't know why. I genuinely, I don't know why. I don't know if it was a test. I don't know, I don't know. Surrender. Now this is interesting, trust. This came out before. This can mean literally like you take this leap of faith, like trust in yourself, trust in the universe, trust that everything will, like surrender, like let go, trust that everything will work out the way it should. Or it could literally mean actual trust. If you, like, you can, when you read cards and stuff, you have to kind of read it both ways. You have to read it the spiritual, metaphysical way, and you have to read it the literal way. Because it could mean an actual trust of some sort. Now, I've never been told about a trust. I don't really know what a trust is. Ziggy, what is a trust? Let's get the real answer, because I don't.
A trust is a legal fiduciary arrangement where a grantor gives a trustee title to manage assets for the benefit of a beneficiary.
But what does it do?
A trust lets a grantor hand over legal title of assets to a trustee, who manages them according to the grantor's rules and distributes the benefits to the designated beneficiaries. There are different types of trusts for different purposes. Want to learn about the main ones?
No.
Got it.
It could mean an actual trust. Or it could just mean trust in yourself, trust in the universe, trust in divine timing. It says in the bottom, may you take this leap of faith. Maybe you're scared to do something, I don't know. Maybe there's something that scares you that you want to do, then, someone's trying to hold you back from doing that. I will say, every time I see this card, it's interesting. There's vultures in the tree. If you look, there's like actual vultures like lurking and sitting in the tree. So just be mindful, because you may have like vultures lurking, watching, waiting, to see what your next move is. So again, it could mean actual trust, or it could mean trust in yourself, trust in the universe more. Okay, so this is why I keep wondering what just came out. Gift. So I have the Kipper deck. I have a Kipper deck, and if you do tarot, if you do oracle cards, the Kipper deck is like everyone knows that's like the investigative deck, kind of, sort of. There's other crime investigative things, but a lot of people use that to figure out the main characters or the main people behind something. Now, what's weird, it says gift. And in my Kipper deck, I've seen the gift card come out so many times. It's not even funny. For like, I don't know, a year and a half to 2 years now. It's been gift, gift, gift. It says, may you receive the gifts that await. This looks like a cliff, kind of, you know. It looks like, this gives me, I mean, it could be anywhere. It makes me think Pacific Coast Highway in California, if I'm being honest. It could also be somewhere in Spain. It could be anywhere, but it's overlooking the ocean or something, and the rock formations. It could be Greece, it could be Spain, it could be California, but it's somewhere obviously near a body of water, but I don't know if that's relevant for someone, but it says gift. So either I'm right and there's a trust or a will or a deed or something, or assets, and that's what the gift is. Now, for me specifically, I don't know, but if this is the reason why I'm being targeted, why would law enforcement allow that to happen? That's my question. Alchemy, may you find your gold. Surrender, may you release the old. Trust, may you take the sleep of faith. Gift, may you receive the gifts that await. It almost rhymes. It could be a literal trust, or it could be something else, or it could be assets, maybe actual gold, I don't know. I've heard that there are people that get gang stalked and targeted because of inheritances and stuff. Conserve, may you find the balance. I know for me specifically, I've been trying to figure out how to do this. I've been going on Pinterest about money management and trying to save money and figure out how to manage money better. You know, maybe don't spend frivolously. I try not to. I will say that when I used to do grocery shopping online, like when I did Instacart and Walmart Plus and stuff, I never paid attention at all to like prices. I'm guilty of that. Like I was just like, oh, organic food, I like this brand, I like that packaging. I was like, I am the #1 sucker for like consumerism. You put a pretty package with like a cool name, that's it. Like, and you slap organic on there, I'm like, that's it. Like, you give it a cool name, you put organic, free of preservatives, free of glycophosphate, free of whatever. I'm like a you know, which is, I mean, I'm the perfect consumer, but anyways, it says conserve, so maybe that means like save, you know. I feel like the top cards are like what is the truth, and the bottom cards are going to be like the strategy of like how to, I don't know why I feel like that's the case. Hold on. Let's keep going. It's so interesting because I always say energy doesn't lie, people do. And that pains me because the truth comes out in a reading. But then you question people and you're like, hey, so-and-so, I did a reading about this, this, and this, but you're telling me the opposite, and oh, but they're just cards, we don't, you know. Choices, may you see the opportunities. So maybe you'll have some choices to make in the future. Choices are always really nice. Opportunities are also really nice because those are open doors. If you ever have a door open for you, I would do some, thinking, because, I mean, not all choices are good choices. Not all doors or opportunities are good opportunities or safe opportunities. But if you do have some sort of opportunity or something come to you, then evaluate it, assess it, ask yourself, how does it make you feel? Do you feel safe? Do you feel like it would be the right fit for you? I don't know what this rock formation is. It looks kind of like the desert if you look at it. It reminds me of, I think it's, I don't know if it's in California, the San Andreas Fault, right? Right, Ziggy, where is the San Andreas Fault? She didn't want to answer. Okay. I was like, she didn't want to answer. But choices. Maybe you'll have some choices presented to you in the near future. You never know. And that's a blessing. Let me tell you, if you have doors open for you and you have people extend a helping hand, you know, obviously you want to evaluate that, but you have to ask and pray about it and say, is this the right fit for me? Because sometimes, you know, people present things to you and they wrap it up really nicely in a beautiful bow, and they're like, oh, I have your best interests at heart, but really they're ready to stab you in the back. Those are really hard things to come to grips with. Those are the times that are really hard to figure out. I will be honest. Back of the deck, offering. Maybe someone wants to, maybe it's not a lot, but maybe someone wants to offer you, they're just coins. It looks like a wishing well, but that's the back of the deck. Offering, kindred, radiant. You know, but the right choice, one thing I will say this, the right choice will never feel wrong. I've learned something that has guided me through my entire life. I said, whenever in doubt, don't do. Meaning, if you have any second thoughts or doubts about a decision, that's your gut telling you don't do it. Because if you were 100% sure, like, yeah, this is the best thing for me, like whether it's a relationship, a partnership, a friendship, a job, it'll feel right. It'll feel right in your soul. But if you feel any skepticism, any sort of apprehension or reluctance about anything, that's usually your alarm system going. Even like, for instance, when I went to the ER recently, something told me, I was really going back and forth trying to figure out which one do I go to. I didn't want to go to any, because for some reason I told myself I don't think it's safe for me to go to an ER. I just don't know why. With being targeted or whatever, I was like, I don't feel like it would be a good move for me, and I don't know, because you don't know what someone can inject you with. If someone's holding a grudge against you or has ill will or ill and malicious intent towards you, people can wreak havoc on you. And the medical system, here's the thing, you would never know, because it's their word against yours. And they're the ones behind the EHR, you know, the electronic health record. They're the ones who could, or EMR, electronic medical record. They're the ones, you know, you're the patient. They're the experts. Oh, she came in and she was very anxious and kind of nervous, and she had all her things with her, and, you know, she has a past medical history of PTSD, trauma, depression, anxiety. She was probably overly paranoid. Like, they can lean with that. And that's what's really unfortunate too. When you have a previous medical history, now forever, no matter what, I will be always labeled as what they would call a psych patient. When I'm perfectly coherent, I'm just insanely traumatized. I'm smart, I'm kind, I'm well educated, I'm well spoken. I'm just very hurt, betrayed, and traumatized. But if I start having heart palpitations, or if I start having difficulty breathing, or I have shortness of breath, right away someone could go, oh, PTSD, panic attack. They might not even consider, what if I'm asthmatic? What if I have been exposed to heavy metals? What if I walked in a cloud of mercury vapor? What if I ingested Botox in the soda that I drank recently? Would they consider that? Probably not. Because who's going to sit there and consider that? They'd be like, that's so bizarre and outlandish. Who's going to sit there and try to target a young woman and give her Botox in her food to try to kill her? But anyways, back of the deck says offering. Ziggy, what time is it?
It's 10:22 a.m.
It's interesting because they pick up the trash around like 8 or 8:30 every day. But I've never heard them... Wait, what time is it?
It's 10:22 a.m. right now.
I've never heard of them doing like a picking up twice at 10:30 or whatever. Awake, nurtured. I don't usually when it's two cards. The ones that came out says awake and nurtured. May you be loved and cared for. May you wake to the beauty. So hopefully maybe you'll be nurtured by someone or something. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully we'll get 2 more cards. And then I'm gonna wrap it up with my Saints and Angels deck. But it's, I think more and more what I'm realizing, the theme, I do think this is money related. And it's interesting because I pulled cards yesterday for me specifically. And maybe it's your story too. There's a lot of people who may have unclaimed gifts or inheritances or assets or something. It did say main female concern courthouse sudden wealth. It came out yesterday in a reading and I wrote it down in my notebook. And I go, man, this would make a lot of sense now. That's maybe why I'm being so heavily targeted, because someone or some group or something wants, and it's funny too, because the energy thief comes out a lot. This thief energy, and I'm like, who or what or why, you know? Comfort and stillness. That's interesting. I like these cards. It's funny, every time I look at these cards, I go, I wish I could transport myself. I know it's not winter time yet, but like when I lived in Vermont, it's funny because I didn't have even when I was indoors and I was a very small town, I didn't have a car, so getting to and from places was really, really hard. It would take like 20 minutes for me. Mind you though, I feel so stupid because they had the Amtrak train. And I didn't even realize they had the Amtrak train until like one of the last days that I was there. So I feel like a dodo bird because I literally had an Amtrak train at my disposal, which was like 10 minutes from the house that I was staying at. And it took like maybe 30 minutes to get into town. And the train was like $2. And I would take the bus, which was 2.5 hours into downtown. Go figure. And this always reminds me of the song Stick Season by Noah Kahan. But it says comfort. So hopefully you'll find comfort in whatever choice you do decide to make, but it gives very much Stick Season vibes. I mean, it looks like frozen ice, you know? But then it says stillness. I don't know if I want to take this card. There's stillness. It looks like a lake with a sunset. I might take it. Maybe just finding stillness and peace. Wonder. May you see the whole picture. Maybe maybe you're not seeing the whole picture. Maybe someone's not telling you the whole truth about something. Maybe someone's keeping the truth from you about something. Here come the sirens. That's a beautiful, very picturesque scene. There's like clouds in the mountains, but maybe a mountainous region is relevant for you, or maybe for me. I'm not in the mountains. I'm in a city. I'm in a concrete jungle right now. It's a really pretty view. Like if you look at the sun, the way it's shining like that, I would love to be on top of a mountain like that right now. Just to sit and like watch and look over the vast expanse of land. I'm so in the wrong place right now. I'm so in the wrong place right now. Oh my gosh. When I look at this, I think of God's landscape and tapestry. And it makes me realize there's so much world to see. And that's what frustrates me, is because I had, you know, the funds and stuff to eventually one day, you know, move and all of that and start my life over, and everything just changed. Just because of one thing, I pissed off one person, my entire life changed. You obviously, I mean, it could be a reading for me, it could be a reading for you, who knows? There's a lot of people who maybe have unclaimed gifts waiting for them. And it could be spiritual gifts too. It might not actually be an actual physical, tangible gift. I'm getting a physical, tangible gift. Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting. Like an offering of some sort. Because it says gift. May you receive the gifts that await. Trust, surrender, alchemy. May you find your gold. Conserve, choices, comfort, stillness, wonder. I'm gonna put this one back. Maybe taking a nature retreat would be really good for you. I know for me, I know I need to retreat somewhere, and I can't afford it, but I know I need to like get out of the city and find some peace, like for Bonnie and I. Like, and it's funny enough, not to go camping. Like, I don't mean like go camping like full time and live like on the land. Like, I don't mean that, but I mean like in a cabin somewhere and just by a babbling brook or something, or a river, and just sit and be present and listen to the birds. And that's one of the reasons why I initially moved to Vermont, and I got to stay for like a little bit of time in Stowe, and I felt weird gas stuff in the cabin that I stayed in. It was a very Scandinavian aesthetic or design, and I remember it smelled a lot like horse poop outside. Weird enough, it smelled like horse poop, but I was just appreciative because I was in a new state, and I was kind of like in the mountains. I was like, this is so cool. And I went outside and I looked, and they had these twinkling lights, and they had these beautiful trees, and this river, like with the, you know, and I also ordered food from oh my god, it was so, and my food wasn't tainted then. Oh my god, the food it was so good. It was oh my god, it was a pizza place. It was an Italian place in Stowe, Vermont. So good. Oh my god, I think I had pesto pasta or pizza. So good. Anyways, I digress again. But I would give anything to be able to just have give thanks. May gratitude lift you up. Gratitude is probably the best thing. Having an attitude of gratitude is always good to have, because one thing I've learned, as per Oprah, Mother Oprah, I grew up watching, I'm very weird. While other kids were watching, I don't know, I did watch Disney Channel growing up, but like I was very drawn, like I loved Super Soul Sunday. You could know when it was, if you've never watched Super Soul Sunday, I had on my Spotify every single Super Soul episode, like Pima Chandran, Anais Nin, what the fuck is that lady's name? Dr. Shefali Tsai, she's a child psychologist. Like, I learned so much from listening to these people. And she always said having an attitude of gratitude is like the fastest way to lift your vibration. And I took that with me, and I probably started my gratitude journal practice because of that. You know, and Oprah's been through a lot. right? She's been through a lot of hard stuff, so. And then she gave a lot of stuff away. She was very generous with her wealth, so. Anyways, resourceful. May you recover and rise again. Be resourceful. I always look at this card and it makes me think of like God is angry or something. You know, because you look at the thunder and the lightning, like I will cast down, like I am like Zeus. That's a Greek god, but like, you know, I don't know, whatever god or goddesses you believe in, I'm not going to discriminate. I know in Maori culture, like New Zealand and stuff, they have their own, you know, like Moana, when you think of Moana, like that, Polynesia culture. It just makes me think of that. I don't know if they're doing construction next door or something, but like I hear hammering. But it says, may you recover and rise again. I feel like that. I do feel like a cat with 9 lives. I'm not kidding. Because I was suffering so bad from a horrible virus. Like, I think it was the viral meningitis. And I try not to take my temperature too much anymore just because I'm like, I just don't want to. Because if you hyper focus on something too much, you'll attract it more into your life. So I'm like, but I'll take a few more cards. And I hope maybe this reading will help you. I'm sorry I'm not like showing it. It looks like this. I don't know if you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it here, what it looks like. Kind of, sort of, right? Or if I go like that. I know some people, when they do card readings, they do like a camera and they like show it like that kind of view. I don't have all that fancy equipment. I don't have like a fancy microphone or I would love a Yeti microphone, you know, the ones that like, maybe I should start like a wish list or something. I don't like to ask for things though. You know, like, cause like, you know, when people, if you want to donate and stuff, I don't know, I just feel weird asking for that, but. And then one day, I always get nervous too because of targeting. I'm like, what if my channel gets hacked one day? And they say, you know, that like when the views go down on your content. So sometimes it's also the time of day that you post. Because some, you know, so. Clarity. This reminds me of the Zed song. There's literally a song by Zed. He's an EDM artist and it's called Clarity. And it's like, you are the piece of me. My belly hurts right now, so I'm not going to sing the whole thing, but when I put that song on, I go all out, and I'm like, maybe someone gave you clarity on something, maybe someone is your clarity, maybe you got clarity, maybe this reading is clarity. I'm going to pop this card right by where it says gift. I do sense that there is some gift or some monetary something exchange or so if you know how to navigate that, more power to you. I don't know how to navigate that. And I would assume if there's some sort of monetary gift, I'm assuming that goes through lawyers. I'm assuming the court, like a court or justice system, would have to facilitate that. I don't think I don't know. I don't know how that works. If it's a large lump sum of money, I'd assume that it would have to like go through a court system or something. Any other cards that we rest? I said this was one of my cards that I wanted to resonance. The back is like the ocean. Rest. May you find moments of serenity. I even said when this reading started, I was like, I wish I could sit here, you know, on a pier or a deck or something. Rest is really important. Rest is super, super important because it helps heal the body and rejuvenate the body when you're sick, when you can't put your mind to rest. Like, it literally, it's healing. It's healing for the brain, the immune system, everything. So I strongly encourage you, if you're someone that you feel anguished or turmoil, take some time to rest. I know it works wonders for me, so maybe it'll do the same for you. I'm going to put that right in the middle. And you'll find comfort in that. the back of the deck again says resonance, and these are like ocean waves. So maybe you live by the ocean, maybe you need to take some time by the ocean, whatever. I think whatever would bring you peace. I think if you have your own boat, look, there's boats in the background. Maybe you're someone that likes to go boating. Maybe you should go boating. I don't have a boat. Or a yacht or anything like that, but like there's little boats in the background. It doesn't have to be a big boat. I don't know if I should take another card or not, but my biggest thing, I mean, this is all wonderful stuff, but when you've been tricked or traumatized and betrayed, it's really hard to trust anybody again. I'm just gonna be blatantly honest. It is so hard to trust anybody ever, because they can tell you one thing and be like, oh yeah, I have your best interests at heart, and then they could just go right behind your back and talk shit about you, or trick you, or hurt you, or lie to you, or bamboozle you, or gaslight you. And that's one of the hardest things ever to, because it's not right. It's not already enough like you go through the pain of being tricked and betrayed, even by, especially by the people closest to you. It's now you have to figure out how to build up allies and trust again in people, like from scratch. And people, unfortunately, we live in a very greedy dog world. People very much look out for themselves. They will kill, pillage, plunder. Like, people are ruthless. They don't care. They don't care how nice you are, how sweet you are, how giving or charitable. They don't care. When people want what they want, or if they don't like you and they hold a grudge against you and they think that you're the problem, they don't care. Like wonder, that came out again. May you see the whole picture. So again, maybe the miracle card wanted to come out too, by the way. So that kind of was peeking out. May a miracle come to you. I think we all need a miracle at this point. But maybe there's things that you're missing. May you see the whole picture. That came out twice. So maybe there's kind of secrets or things that are being withheld from you. Maybe it is about a gift. Maybe it is about some assets, or maybe gold. I don't know. Hopefully you get the answers that you deserve. Because what that's giving me is definitely that something is being kept hidden from you, or about someone or something. Oh, look, okay, interesting. Offering, right? That was at the back of the deck before. If you look at it, offering, the coins. Kindred, may you enjoy heartfelt connections. I usually don't take when it's two cards, but I don't understand why they use oak like this, or a tree. But when I think of a tree, I think of roots being rooted, in the ground. So kindred spirits, or people that you have kindred connections with, it could literally mean kindred, like your kin, like family, or people that are akin to you, that are similar to you, or like-minded people. But it says, may you enjoy heartfelt connections. For me, that's the hardest part, I'm going to be honest. Letting people help me, building trust in people again, because I've been betrayed so many times. I'm sure one of you, or two or three, four of you people can relate, because let's say, like, for example, a good example is like divorce, right? Let's say you are someone that, you're a female or a male, and you had a spouse or a partner, and you thought that they were your everything, that they were going to be a lifetime partner, right? A life partner. And then you found out that they cheated, or that they were not being honest about something. Maybe they had an addiction that you didn't know about. I don't know. There's different reasons why people get divorced. Maybe your spouse had like a secret fund to buy tobacco or porn, or because there's one thing, it's different like if you share and you're like, hey babe, I'm gonna go watch some sexy videos or whatever, like, and if you share that with your spouse and you're like, okay, do your thing, whatever, and they don't act upon it, they don't talk to people on a campsite, but there's some people who are married and they will sneak off and watch stuff or do camming and have affairs with people, and that's really sad, because marriage, I think, is it's you do that, you take a vow, you take that vow and you make a promise to someone that for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness or good health, you make a promise to that person that you'll always be by their side and that you'll be their friend, like no matter what. That's marriage to me, and it's not a third party. It's not like you, me, and ABC, whatever person. It's like, and so imagine people that go through divorce and they find out that their spouse was lying or cheating or being lacking fidelity. That's hard. So learning how to come back from that and find trust again in a relationship. And mind you, I've never been married. I've dated or tried to date, and I've gone through so many like Bumble matches and so many Tinder people that I'm like, I have names and I've deleted things, and I'm just like, but I still try to remain hopeful and tell myself, I don't know if I'd find a spouse on a dating app. I really don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm not trying to, I'm not going to even force that at this point, because my focus right now is health and safety. At one point, when I got to Chicago, I was like, oh, I'm in Chicago. There's probably so many men, and I'm going to date. And I can't think about that right now. Health and safety are my number one priorities right now, and my dog. And trying to sustain a job and keep a job and not get fired. I'm sorry if I bite my lip. My lips are so chapped. But hopefully you can find some sort of peace and respite. If you do have the money, if you can't afford it, I strongly suggest there's nothing wrong with taking a solo vacation. I think everyone should take themselves out on a date. I think everyone should go on a solo vacay, if you're safe enough to do it, by the way. And if you have a car, even better. Lucky you. Do it, because you only live once. And if there's a place you want to go, like I would love, if I can afford it, I would love to go to Cape Cod. I've never been to Cape Cod. I would love to go to Boston to see what that's like. I would love to go to New Hampshire. I've been to Maine for like 2 seconds. I never got to try Maine lobster. So that would be nice. Or Maryland crab cakes. But maybe one day. But I strongly encourage you, if you can, take the time you need to rest. Find a safe place where you can quiet your mind. Maybe like a yoga retreat. There was actually an Airbnb I wanted to go to at one point that I was considering like living in, and after I was like, no, this won't work. It was too remote, but it was really cool. They had like, I think they had their own food. They had their yoga retreat, and I don't know how I don't know if the cabin had like internet or not, but either way, hopefully you'll find some heartfelt connections along the way with certain people. I would like to believe that not everyone in the world is horrible and terrible. And people who speak poorly about people, by the way, people who gossip about people and create lies and rumors, those people are usually hurt people, because hurt people, and happy people don't hurt people. Happy people are not sitting there on a Saturday morning like let me figure out how I can obstruct justice and hurt somebody today. You know, what lie and what rumor can I start today about somebody? How can I put someone in poor health? Oh, let me poison them. You know, normal people with neurotypical brains don't think like that. People with abnormal atypical brains would. Artistry. I don't know what that means. That came out before. Artistry. I know for me, music is very important. Like, I love to listen to music. Music heals me. And meditation. But I think I'm going to move on to the Saints and Angels deck. Heartfelt. May your heart guide you. See, look, I think these are 4-leaf clovers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-leaf clovers. Which reminds me of St. Patrick's Day. Maybe someone named Patrick is a saint. I don't know. Maybe someone has very saintly qualities. Four-leaf clover. Luck. See, what's funny is I drank some water and my heart feels like it's being squeezed. Par for the course. But again, maybe heartfelt connections, luck, hopefully luck in love, luck in friendship. If you, by the way, if you have one friend in your life, even if it's just one, someone who's always there for you, hold on to that person tightly. Try not to bother them too much, because that is a rarity in this world. Because a lot of people will use their friends for their own benefit. For it to be advantageous to them, meaning that they'll use people so that they can get something out of them. It's one-sided. It's, you know, embrace, may you accept what comes. So maybe down the line, either whether it's a gift or a person, a new connection or a friendship, a kindred spirit, may you embrace that. That's what it's saying. Someone's being divinely guided to come to you, or so it says nurtured and inspired. Also, it's for me, I don't mind saying, for me it's hard to accept help sometimes, because I'm very much like, oh, I'm an independent woman, I could do it myself, but it's hard to say I need help. And I've been doing that kind of through YouTube. I've been trying to say like, hey, I need help, and the reach is not that far. Like I don't get a lot of views with my vlogs and stuff like that. I don't really know. I don't know how people get a lot of views with their stuff, and especially hope if my channel ever gets if the channel ever gets hacked, I don't know how to even go about that, because I've heard of people where they go, my channel's been hacked and whatever, and my views are low, and I don't know. I can't do anything about that, really. Oh, my chest hurts so much right now. See, that's how I know. See, my water has poison in it. That's awesome. That is awesome. Now it says continue, radiate. I don't know and see, I'm not well versed in chemistry, so I don't know what poison that would be. But basically, it's like my heart feels like it's being squeezed. So if you know, please enlighten me. And don't say, oh, the solution is to go camping and live in the forest. No, it's not, because you have to get, and if you say, but then you'll live off the land and the water. Yeah, but then I have to filter the water from scratch. I have to bathe in the middle of nowhere. Like, I can't do that, and I don't have a car. It says, continue, may you trust this path, and radiate, may you shine brightly. God, it hurts like a bitch. Oh my God. So I guess that tells me that it has heavy metals in it, which is awesome. So I proved myself right. My bath water is not safe. to drink or tap water. But again, I hope this helps somebody. It says, continue, may you trust this path and radiant, may you shine brightly as you continue to do so. It is difficult, I will be honest, when you feel so hurt and betrayed and traumatized, you know, and I'm sorry if you see the bones of my chest. I did lose weight, unfortunately, when I got sick with the meningitis. But I'm hoping I can gain it back. I don't know how. I need to eat, obviously, but I need to eat safe food, not food that's tainted with stuff. That's if the people that are doing this to me will leave me alone. But I don't really think that they want to do that, unfortunately. So I am going to really quickly transcribe. Is that the word? Transpose or transcribe? Ziggy, define transpose.
Transpose means to change the position or order of something, like switching rows and columns in a matrix or changing the key of a song. Want to see some examples of how transposing works in math or music?
No. Define transcribe.
Transcribe means to write down or record something spoken or performed. It's like turning speech into text or music into sheet music.
Okay, so I am going to, while I do this, because I do like to take notes. Wait, Ziggy, what's today's date? Is today 8/8? I think today's 8/8. Ziggy, what's today's date?
Today's date is Saturday, August 8th, 2026.
It's 8/8. Woohoo! So 8/8, just so you know, in numerology, 8/8 is means it's, so if you look at it, if you turn it sideways, it means it's the infinity symbol. 8/8 or 808 also signifies abundance and wealth, and it is interesting because the reading centers around, there is something with a gift, whether it's assets or wealth or an offering, because it says there's an offering here. And it says kindred. I don't know if that means a family member or someone. Someone has an offering of some sort for you, which is really nice. That's a good thing to hear, right? That's positive news. Make sure you say thank you. If someone offers you a gift, make sure you say thank you, because you never just want to take something and be like, thank you. Like, I'm going to take it and run with it, and I don't want to talk to you. You know, if someone's gracious enough to impart some sort of something, you always want to say thank you for that, and then you want to pay it forward as well. I do believe that if, you know, when you demonstrate kindness and you become a role model for that, it kind of like, it starts a domino effect, and someone goes, oh, that person was generous, I want to be generous too, and there you start a domino effect. So I am just going to write these things down so I don't forget. Oh my God, my chest. Sweet Jesus, my God. It hurts so much. Let me tell you, poison is not fun. It is the most harrowing, terrifying thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I've told myself, I'm like, God, is this experimental? Is this a joke? Is it, you know, because I don't know how much more I can take of this, honestly. And if you say, well, then if it's poison, I shouldn't, how am I supposed to prove that? If it's cyanide, I have to buy a cyanide test kit. If it's whatever the fuck it's called, I don't even know where to buy a test kit for that, and I shouldn't have to. If it's, what's another? Arsenic, I don't know where to buy a kit for that. You know, like, I shouldn't have to. No human should have to test themselves for these things. So I'm just writing this down, and I'm sorry if this is like, I wish there was background music I could play. I just don't want to forget any of this. But there is definitely something out there. There's a gift someone wants to give you. I don't know if it's from a family member. But it says, oh, and it's gifts plural. May you receive the gifts that await. It's not just one thing. This is like a few things. So you wonder who, for me personally, I wonder, why would someone withhold that, or why would someone not want someone to have that? And why would you want to see someone suffer? Like, for me personally, I'm in debt. Like, I have banks calling me, like I have Synchrony Bank going like all the time. You have a payment, and I'm like, yes, I know that, Synchrony Bank. I know this. I'm not dumb. I know you're there. Trust me. But I feel like there's someone purposely who wants me stuck in turmoil, who doesn't want me to have something. Or maybe it's jealousy. I know greed can drive people to do really nasty, mean things. Like murder. Literally, like murder. And then they'll give excuses for it. Like, oh, it's not fair that she gets to have that. Or they'll make up a whole lie about you to try to frame you for something just to prevent you from having. Oh, I saw that she slapped a child at the preschool that I worked at with her. I've never abused a child in my life. I'm so delicate with kids, it's not even funny. And if I ever found out, so there's something when you work in childcare, you're called a mandatory reporter. So by law, if you suspect child abuse with a kid, you have to report it. Like, I was taught about that. And I was taught about, like, predators, too. Like, apparently there are teachers that are, like, women predators and stuff, not just men. You would think it's men, but no. They're, like, bad women who are bad with kids. So, I'm very much the opposite of that. Like, I'm an advocate for children. So, may you see the opportunities. Not ops, the opportunities. Oh my God. That reminds me, there's a skit with Marcelo Hernandez where he says, he reenacts, like, his parents coming to America. And, like, he says, look at all these opportunities. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. I think Marcelo Hernandez is hilarious. I also appreciate him because he's from Miami. And his girlfriend is gorgeous. Oh my God. Gorgeous. When they showed them at the Met Gala, I was like, bro, I was like Miami 305. I was so happy. I saw like a snippet of it. I think it was on YouTube. And I was like, Miami 305, represent. So it shows you anything is possible. Dreams are possible. Anyway, so comfort. May nature be the balm. That's my Noah Kahan card. Noah Khan. I don't know if it's Noah Kahan or Noah Khan card. This one that I mentioned before. I'm just writing it all down. Because this is a stick season card. And then stillness. Stillness. So like stillness, resourceful. May you recover and rise again. May you recover. One thing I will say I feel very grateful for is that throughout this whole experience I have a really kick-ass. I don't know who, isn't there a movie called Kick-Ass? Ziggy, is there a movie called Kick-Ass?
Yes, Kick-Ass is a 2010 superhero black comedy film starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Nicolas Cage, and Chloe Grace Moretz.
I don't know why, maybe that's relevant for someone. I was gonna just say something, I was gonna say I have a really kick-ass spiritual team, whoever they are. I don't know if you don't believe in that stuff, I do. But I do have a really kick-ass spiritual, angelic team. Because if it wasn't for the spirit people, or whoever, whether they're on the other side, or wherever, however that works, I wouldn't have the answers that I needed and deserved. Because no one's telling me in the physical world. No one's telling me shit in the physical world. I've been left to my devices to just figure it out on my own. But God is like, or the universe is like, I'm gonna make this right while she's still alive on earth. You know, God's like, the universe is like, I'm gonna balance those scales because this can't go on anymore. Because I'm telling you, I am like a cat with 9 lives. It is a miracle that I'm alive. Like, the stuff that I've been through, I should not be alive. I have been through toxic gases where I thought I was gonna suffocate. I think people have used special technology stuff to like almost shut down my body and almost kill me, I think. I've been poisoned and drugged, I think, on numerous occasions. I feel like I've been assassinated and almost murdered many times. And I've had to do this all on my own. Literally pick myself up, dust myself off, and just try again, literally, in the words of Aaliyah. Which reminds me, I hope I'm not a human sacrifice. I've thought about it. I've heard a lot of people where they go, oh, people sacrifice people for like a come up, or they do it for like religious purposes. And I'm like, who does that? I'm like, like, that's what the Mayan Aztecs did years ago, where they wanted to do some special homage or pay reverence to God, so they sacrificed one of their own. And I'm like, that's kind of disturbing. Like, to do human sacrifices. Like, oh, if we sacrifice her, then our sins are forgiven. I'm like, I'm not Jesus. You know, I'm not Christ. I'm not that selfless where I'd be like, oh, I'm going to sacrifice myself for the greater good of humanity. I'm not fucking 11 from Stranger Things. You kidding me? I am not. You know, 11 is a kick-ass character. She's cool as shit. But I think, because in the final season, she's like, all I remember is that she, like, in the Upside Down, she's like, oh, and then she's like, my, and then, I didn't see it, I watched snippets of it, but they fight the demigorgons, and then Will, out of nowhere, like a fucking magician, sorcerer, comes out of nowhere, and he's like, ah, and then he, like, controls the demigorgons through his consciousness, and he's like, no, and then he's like, ah, and then, it was weird. But I'm not 11. I do not want to sacrifice myself for it, because I don't need to. I shouldn't have to. I'm just saying. That's not my destiny. And I'm not enlisted in the army. If I was in the army or the military, and it's like, you know, where you make that dedication, right? I would assume that's like, you probably sign a waiver and say, if you have to go to war, if you're drafted, like, you have to realize that you're signing your life away and there's a risk of death and whatever. For me, I couldn't do that. I will say, I feel like my health is a mystery, though. That's one of the things I feel like I don't know if I'll ever get the truth about, because I do feel like people are putting me in bad health on purpose. Kindred, heartfelt connections, heartfelt, maybe I should, no, whatever. Embrace. May you accept what comes. But yeah, I'm not that selfless. I can't. Maybe you people would go, oh yeah, I'll no. Especially after all I've been through, I realized that if I died tomorrow, people probably wouldn't give a shit. You know? I'm not kidding. Like, they probably would be like, oh, she tried her best. I remember she was talking about being stalked and hacked and all this stuff, and no one really took her seriously, and it's unfortunate, and she maybe had health complications and issues. Mind you, all of that could have been prevented because people put me in bad health on purpose with malicious intent. That's not, you know, that was premeditated. Whether you want to call it premeditated murder, I don't know. That's a very strong word. I don't use that term loosely. Loosely, that means Lucy. Maybe someone's name is Lucy? Makes me think of Lucifer, which makes me think of the devil. People are acting out of a very demonic, devilish way. Nurtured, may you be loved and cared for. That is what I would hope for, because for the past 6 years I feel like I haven't been. It says nurtured and it says continue. May you trust this path. I'm sorry, this is like a really long, but I always take notes in my journal. Radiant, may you shine brightly. Shine bright like a diamond. That's when I see that. Shine bright like a diamond. I can't sing it for shit like she can. I will never try to. Queen Rihanna, I cannot hold a candle to, and I would never try to. I think that woman's so fucking badass, it's ridiculous. And she also has a really cool tattoo on her rib cage. I don't know what it is, but it's really cool. I think it's some Egyptian thing. Maybe diamonds are relevant. I know I had a friend, not really a friend, she was a coworker, her name was Diamond. It was from years ago. I'm gonna write down diamonds. Maybe diamonds are relevant to somebody. Diamond ring, diamonds. Shine bright like a diamond, I don't know. Do what you will with that. Do as you please. I used to say the words "as you wish" a lot, and I learned "as you wish" is from the movie The Princess Bride, which is an old movie with Robin Wright Penn. I sometimes like to take one more card. Oh my god. Oh, kindred. Oh, look at that, kindred. May you enjoy heartfelt connections, alchemy. May you find your gold. So maybe it's like a generational thing. Maybe it's generational wealth. Rest. Just a few more, just like the final confirmation cards. Kindred, may you, let me hold them up like this, so it makes, kindred, may you enjoy heartfelt connections, may you find your gold, alchemy, rest, may you find moments of serenity. So future tense, what may happen, if you want to see what it says kindred, and then may you find your gold. Oh, my heart. Bro, that shit. Never piss anyone off, because they will come after you, and if they have poison, I'm telling you, that shit is rough. That shit is rough. And I am not James Bond. I cannot sit there and, I'm not a super soldier, whatever. I'm a regular schmegular person. And, ooh hoo hoo. Anyways, so maybe the answer, oh look, wish, this wanted to come out. Wish, may your wishes be granted. I love this card. Because, so fun fact, when I used to stop off at different places, like when I was on the road and I would do like little day trips or whatever, I would always find these plants, like this little flower, and then I would go and I would blow the little thingies. I don't know if they're called dandelions, but I would blow them and they would go in the wind, and it was really fun to see. I did that in North Carolina, South Carolina, and I think in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe New York too, I'm not sure. But, I don't know what order. Rest, alchemy, kindred, wish. Shine bright like a diamond. Let me tell you, that song on Just Dance, no, I'm thinking of, no, it wasn't that one. It's called Umbrella. When the sun shines, we'll shine together. I can't sing that for shit. I'll be here forever. I'll always be a friend. I have yet to try her makeup line came out, oh my god. Because even then, when I had money, I still didn't spend my money. But, like, when the Fenty makeup line came out, she had this, like, it was like a gold, like, bronzer thing, like, highlighter. I never got it, but I wanted to try it. She also had this, she has this amazing looking foundation, but I can't afford it. But it looks beautiful. Maybe one day. I also have yet to try her lingerie, which also looks wonderful. If you haven't figured out that I'm a Rihanna fan, then I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, moving on. Let me write this down. But again, maybe diamonds are relevant. Oh, isn't there a song, Diamonds Are Forever? Diamonds Are Forever. Isn't that a James Bond thing? Ziggy, what's the movie Diamonds Are Forever about?
Diamonds Are Forever is a 1971 James Bond movie starring Sean Connery. Bond investigates diamond smuggling, leading him to Las Vegas, where he uncovers a plot involving a rich tycoon and his old enemy Blofeld. Want to know more about Sean Connery's return as Bond in that film?
No. Investigation.
All right, no problem.
Investigation station. So maybe that's what's, maybe there's diamonds. Maybe there's, oh my god, it's all making sense now. Holy shit, I think I solved my own fucking case. So, God, I love when things come together. I think I solved my own case. So diamonds smuggling, gold smuggling. There's someone that's trying to steal gold. Maybe it's something that belongs to you, if you're going through something similar to me. And you are the loose end, you're the problem. I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't know, maybe it's my story, your story, but gold smuggling, diamond smuggling. I haven't watched that movie in ages. And James Bond is a spy, right? Like, he's a British spy, dude. So maybe someone is trying to smuggle. Oh, bro, oh my god, you know what I just saw in my head right now? Holy fucking shit. Investors. There's like an investor group. There's a group of investors that are, is it gold? Do I have gold? I don't know. Maybe there's like a, because look what came out again. It said, may you find your gold. Someone tried to steal something or smuggle it. Kindred, may enjoy heartfelt connections. There's something shady definitely going. This makes sense. And then so that's why there's so I'm right. Holy fuck, I'm right. There's a group of bad people that are trying to, and I'm in the middle of it because I think it's something that belongs to me. Holy fucking shit. I think I solved my own case. I cracked the case. I'm like the Pink Panther, but like the girl version of that. Or would that be Daphne from Scooby-Doo? Or maybe Velma. I think that's more like appropriate. Well, I'm not really like, I'm kind of like Velma because I'm kind of nerdy, but I'm also not like Daphne, but Daphne dresses really cute. Anyways. Take that what you will from it, but diamonds are forever. That might be relevant for someone. Oh my god, fucking poison is a bitch. Poison is a bitch. Resourceful, may you recover and rise again. Someone is definitely, if look clarity, resourceful or resourcefulness, recover and rise again. Did I write this down? Rest, alchemy. May you find. It's interesting when certain movies come to your mind and you reference things and it's like, but okay, so that's what there's investors. There's gold investors or diamond investors or something, and they want the fuck. So they targeted me. They scapegoated me? What the little fuck? But how does that work with gold? Don't you need a buyer for that? You would need a buyer. But that makes sense. If I'm out of the picture, then they don't have to worry. Holy fucking shit. I was right. I'm pretty sure I just found out. You people watched me solve my own thing. It was a murder plot. This whole time I'm right. This whole thing was a premeditated murder plot. And law enforcement and shit, no one's doing anything about it, so they let me be scapegoated because I guess certain people were crooked and promised a bar of gold or something like that, or an asset, or some piece of the pie. But it's like drug smuggling? I don't know. It says, may you find your gold, kindred, heartfelt connections. You people get to watch me solve something in real time. If you get that far in the video, then God bless your soul. Then God bless your soul. Wish, may your wish be granted. But this all makes sense now. That's why, because I keep asking myself, I'm like, why would someone poison someone? For money, revenge, and some other reasons. May your wishes be granted. But if I'm out of the picture, if I'm in poor health, then that leaves someone else to swoop in and take whatever they want. Some people could even go as far as trying to get someone married and put into a fake sham marriage so that way they become the beneficiary of a large fortune or something. Holy fucking shit. It says embrace kindred. Kindred spirits keeps coming out, by the way, just so for whoever, it says embrace. So that's a good thing. May you accept what comes. So God is sending you kindred spirits, or people who, I don't know, allies, heartfelt, real people who care, which is nice. I would hope that would happen for me. Right now I don't really see that. Literally my best friend is my dog. And my poor dog has suffered through so much shit. She, you know. Anyways, okay, let's do the Saints and Angels deck. But interesting how I figured this out in real time. Diamonds are forever. Diamond smuggling. How does that even work? It did say thief. My readings yesterday did say thief. Gift. That would make a lot more sense why a bunch of vendors would gather together. Look what the top of the deck, triumphant. Boom, bitch. Sorry, I know I probably shouldn't say that because it doesn't sound very ladylike, but who says that? Boom, baby. I don't know. Anyways, okay. Let me shuffle this a little bit because I didn't. Funny. Okay, so there isn't a theme of gold. If you look, I never noticed on these cards how they're etched with gold. See how beautiful that is? This is the Saints and Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. So they're etched in gold. So, anyways. Someone tried to scapegoat me. So there's a few things I'm picking up on now. People have been poisoning me and scapegoating me to avoid a truth coming out about something, and also to avoid going to jail. Not jail, like federal prison, I guess. And then someone also tried to steal something from me. And they tried to cover it up, or they tried to frame me. Safe travel. I shouldn't laugh at this card, but I know, so that's supposed to be the baby Jesus, allegedly, and this is Saint Christopher, right? So maybe there's someone named Christopher in your life. I don't know anyone named Christopher, for me personally, but he just looks so tired and burdened. If you look at his face, he's like, oh my god. And then the little baby's like pushing down on his head, like, but it looks like they're traveling somewhere, so it says safe travel. Wait, no. It has to, like, if a card, whoa, that's too many cards. Ay, coñositos, ay, Dios mío. Okay, there we go. Faith. It makes me think of Faith Hill, you know, the singer Faith Hill. There's also a song by George Michael that says, "You gotta have faith." Isn't it like an 80s song? Optimism, obviously. You want to be optimistic. I try to be as optimistic as possible. I don't know what angels look like. I would love to believe they look like that. Like beautiful people with beautiful wings. Gossamer wings. You know, I don't know. I would love to believe that that's what they look like. There was a movie with Keanu Reeves recently where I think he was a guardian angel. Look, pray. It says pray. These little children with these little wreaths of flowers on their head. So have faith, stay optimistic, and pray. Be brave. Easier said than done. I don't know why she's sitting with a jaguar. Jaguars are very fierce. They're giant cats. She's like literally embracing the animal in the moonlight. Maybe you're someone that loves cats. I do love cats, actually. The only reason why I got a dog was because I wanted something to protect me and have like a guard dog, basically. That's why I adopted Bonnie in Philadelphia. I do think that Bonnie's older than what they said she was. Like, I think they told me she was 1.5, 2 years old, but I realized she had teats, so I think she gave birth to like dogs maybe a little bit before I adopted her. So anyways, let's see, any other cards? Be brave, pray, be brave. I'm trying, God. I'm definitely trying. Vision. I feel like my vision has been being affected a lot lately. So maybe your vision, or maybe you have a vision, you have your sights set on something, so maybe keep that vision going. Don't lose sight of whatever you have in your heart. Sign from above. Maybe the universe is trying to give you a certain sign about something. Sleep. Sleep is important. I know that I just mentioned the other reading that sleep is essential for health and rejuvenation. 2 more cards, and then I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'll post it. I don't know whether to call it morning vlog or, see, that's the shitty part when you have trigger words, because now when I think of morning, I think of MOURNING, not like morning time, but practice makes perfect. I don't know if I'm going to move. Generosity. St. Nicholas of Myra. I think that's supposed to be Santa Claus, I'm not sure. Because St. Nick, right? Forgiveness. I don't know what cards to take. Forgiveness. After this, I need to rest because my chest hurts so much right now. I can't even explain like how much it hurts. And I drink my tap water, which is probably not a smart thing, but I'm like, what water do I drink? If all my water's tainted, what do I drink? Forgiveness, marriage, what the fuck? What is that? I'm so confused. Why does that go together? Forgiveness, marriage. I'm not married, so I don't know what that means. Healing. Sin Padre Pio. I don't know what that means. Forgiveness, marriage, healing. Reward. I'm gonna put that up here. Anything else? I'm sorry, I'm holding my cards. Healing, commitment. Oh my God. This poison shit is just way beyond me. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do to drink water. I don't know what I'm gonna do for Bonnie either. I have no clue, because my logic was like, oh, I'll get a filter for my tap water. How do I know that that filter is gonna filter out all the impurities or toxins or heavy metals or poisons in my water? And then what if I give that to Bonnie and then she goes, I would never be able to forgive myself. anyways, miracle. Speak of all things, it says miracle. So maybe it's a miracle. I know it's a miracle. I feel like it's a miracle that I'm alive. I will say that. Healing miracle. So do what you will with that. It says safe travel, faith, optimism, pray, be brave, reward. Maybe someone wants to reward you for your bravery. Oh my god, my hair. Good lord. I'm gonna write someone may, if you've gone through a lot, someone may wish to do that. Wish to reward. And if you have any naysayers, by the way, who are like, no, that's not true, go by your gut. Listen to your gut. Energy never lies. People do. Remember that. Energy doesn't lie. People do. I'm telling you, every time I've listened to my gut and I followed my heart, I was safe. Every time I didn't do that and I tried to make other people happy, I got in a compromised, sticky situation. So just bear that in mind. Follow your heart, listen to your gut, because usually, you know, your gut and your intuition doesn't lie. It's there for a reason. And your stomach or your gut is like a second brain anyways. There's like a shit ton of neurons and stuff. Vision, also maybe get your vision checked out. Oh my god, my chest. Sweet Lord Jesus. And I'm bathing in that shit. I'm literally bathing in that. Like whatever I ingested in my water, I'm bathing in that. That's terrifying. Oh my god. That reminds me of the song from the Legally Blonde, where she's like, oh my god, you guys. Na, na, na. That's a cute movie, and I love that. I think that's such an iconic movie, and that'll go down in history as like always being like a classic movie, because it's the story of a girl who gets underestimated because people prejudge her, because number one, because she's blonde, and number two, because she dresses girly and she likes girly things and has this cute little posh dog. They underestimate her and basically say, oh, she can't operate at the level of a Harvard intellectual. And then she throws them all for a loop, because then she actually gets put on the case with, I think, the guy Callahan. And then she ends up solving the case with the murder of, or the accusations where they said that they thought Brooke Wyndham murdered the husband, I guess, but then it actually was the other lady with the frizzy hair. And I was gonna say Leela, not Leela, Elle Woods. Maybe someone named Leela is relevant for somebody. But Elle Woods was actually able to solve the case, and she cross-examined the lady, and they found out that it was the lady who murdered the husband, not Brooke Wyndham, and then she was able to get Brooke off. So very interesting stuff. So maybe that's someone's story. Maybe someone, God forbid, who knows? I mean, I hope not. Hope no one tried to accuse you or frame you of something like that, like murder or sabotage. I was going to say espionage, not sabotage. I was going to say espionage, but who knows? Maybe someone tried to frame you or say that you were a treasonous traitor and engaged in espionage. Listen, I've never been outside the country. I've been to Haiti. Oh my god, my chest. I've been to Italy years ago. I've been to Windsor, Canada. Haiti, Windsor, Canada, St. Croix, St. Bart's, St. Thomas, and that's it. Have you been anywhere else? That's it. I'd be like the last person to be involved in sabotage or espionage or whatever. I'm not that cool. Actually, sorry, well, let me say, it's not cool to, someone that's a treasonous traitor person that's That's not cool at all, because that's like bad. So, and I also, with all this weird stuff I've been going through, I'm like, did someone frame me? Whatever. But I think now it's all coming together. I think it's because some money or a gift of some sort. And this whole time I'm like, God, why are people hurting me? Why am I being targeted and attacked and whatever and bullied and cyber bullied? And I think it's because of, it's money related. Bro, oh my God. My chest. Hopefully I live through the rest of the day, because I didn't think that drinking the tap water would cause so much pain right now. Like, it hurts so much. Like, I feel like my chest is being pulverized. So, look, reward. So maybe someone wants to reward you. This looks like a nice lady. Maybe there's a lady that wants to reward you or something. And she's holding a dove. An angel of a woman, like safe travel. Maybe someone wants to reward you with a trip. Or to travel somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just the messenger. Forgiveness. This lady looks so melancholy. But forgiveness, maybe you need to forgive somebody. Maybe you need to forgive yourself. Miracle! Fun fact, I was in a group called Musical Miracles years ago. I'm talking eons ago, when I was like a little girl, and we used to travel around like a little musical troupe, and we used to sing songs from like Wicked, Thoroughly Modern Millie, Into the Woods, like all this stuff, and other musicals that I can't recall at the moment. But it was a lot of fun. But maybe music is involved, but maybe there's a miracle. But it says reward, safe travel, forgiveness, miracle. So maybe you'll be moving soon. Maybe you'll be traveling soon. Activist. Mother Teresa. Maybe you're an activist of some sort. I never considered myself an activist, but when you stand up for something bigger than yourself, then usually, yeah, that means that you're an activist. Maybe you're an activist for children. It's just a child came out. Love. Maybe you're like, I am big on love and trying to, higher education. I would love to go back to school, but that costs a lot of money. So money I don't have. And I tried to do scholarships at one point. I was like, I'm gonna get a scholarship. And I applied, and then I had to subscribe for like a trial with this website. I'm like, it's not fair. I was like, and then they ended up charging me money, and I'm like, no. I'm like, everything comes at a cost. But anyways, look deeper. Maybe look deeper with love and have faith. So reward, safe travel. Maybe God will reward you with a safe trip, or to travel somewhere else that's a little bit safer than where you are. I know for sure I've been wanting to move for several months now, because Chicago just doesn't feel like the place for me. Illinois doesn't feel like the place for me. I'm a very firm believer, and if you don't believe this, hear me out. I do believe that everyone's soul, or everyone just as a person, we all have a geographical location that we're called to. We all have a place that feels like where our soul will feel at home. And for someone, maybe it's Kansas. And for maybe someone else, it's San Francisco. For someone else, it could be New York City. For someone else, it could be a cottage in an English garden in the English countryside. For someone else, it could be Phuket in Thailand. For someone else, it could be in Singapore, Spain. And I do believe we're all called to that. Now, if you don't feel happy where you are, you can either stay stuck or you can figure it out. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I don't know how to get out of here, because unfortunately the gang stalking and the targeting pigeonholed me essentially and trapped me. I know there's Section 8 housing and stuff like that and Habitat for Humanity, but Section 8 housing, it takes like 2 years apparently to be on a wait list to get a voucher. So I don't even know how that would work. And I definitely don't want to live in a hotel. I know that there was like this trend where people were like, oh, everyone's moving into hotels now because they have maid service and free breakfast and, you know, it's cheaper. It's not that cheap. Hotels are not cheap. They cost a pretty penny. And I don't even think I would feel comfortable because it's very transient. You don't know who's coming, who's going. And I've had really weird experiences at hotels. So, I almost felt like I was trafficked at a hotel, I'll put it that way. So I don't think hotels would be good for me. But, yeah, I think you need to go where your soul feels most welcomed and safest. And that's hard to find because, you know, some people are lucky enough where they land in one location and then they don't leave and they just take root there and, you know, it works for them. Some people it takes time and they're like gypsies or nomads and they wander about and they try to figure out where is the best place for them. Now, being targeted, it makes it a little bit more difficult and challenging because you get followed, the stalking, the harassment, the community mobbing, the bullying, and then it's a vicious cycle that repeats itself. So that's a little bit trickier to navigate. I hate the word trick, by the way. That's one of my trigger words, and I know it's in everyday vernacular, but like for me it gets to me. But I will say, go where your heart belongs. Go where you feel is right for you. And if someone tries to stop you and negates you, then that usually means that they're not for you. Because, and I told my parents this recently. I said, you know, what's good for you guys may not be what's good for me. Meaning, like, what's good for you, like what you like that works for you may not, and that goes for other people too. You may have a best friend who they like pina coladas and you like Manhattans or I don't know, Cosmos, you know, or maybe you like lemon drop martinis and they like espresso martinis. So it's about finding balance and compromise and respect. And I think what I've learned is that it's okay to say no. It's okay to stand up for yourself and say, hey, that's not what I want. That may be what you want, but that's not what I want. Because my soul will not thrive. And you only get one life, folks. You only get one life. And it could be gone tomorrow. It could be gone in the blink of an eye. And do you want to sit back and regret and go, oh man, woulda, coulda, shoulda. What if I moved over there? What if I moved over to that area? What, you know, if I did that, you know, like I have no regrets about moving. Oh God, my freaking chest, bro. I can't drink the fucking tap water. That's awesome. I have no clue what I'm gonna do about water. It did say to pray, so. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. My chest really hurts. And I thought, let me try to drink some water, and nope. I feel horrible right now. And I was doing so well this morning. But yeah, like what works for you may not work for someone else. Or what works for someone else may not work for you. So don't try to make it work for you, if that makes sense. So, and it's not being selfish, you know, standing up for yourself and saying, hey, but I don't want that. I want something else. I want something different. That's not selfish. That's you exercising your right, saying, I want something else. And if they can't meet you halfway, meaning like if someone's not willing to compromise, then that's very selfish on that person's part. And that's when you have to kind of take a step back and reevaluate and assess and go, is this a connection that I want in my life? Are they supportive of me emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically? Because real friends, real kindred spirits and connections, they won't cause turmoil for you. They won't cause chaos or confusion. They will be a source of peace and respite in your life. Sorry, I need to take my oxygen because I'm just like... Watch me be like, oh no, it's 97. Interesting. 97, 95. Oh. 98 oxygen, that's good. Thank God. But yeah, you can tell by how, like, if someone's good for you or bad for you by the way they make you feel. I don't mean the Michael Jackson song. You can tell, like, how if someone plays a positive role in your life, after you speak with them, do you feel empowered? I remember a therapist told me this in BetterHelp through a webinar, and he said, after you talk to that person, whether it's a family member, a lover, spouse, partner, friend, colleague, coworker, boss, after you speak with them, or after being around them, do you feel energized? Do you feel better? Do you feel more uplifted and positive? Or do you feel worse? That's usually your indication whether someone is a good influence in your life. If you feel always belittled, insulted, antagonized, bullied, helpless, like a failure, that's usually your sign that that person's not good for your mental health, and that it's not a partnership or a relationship or a connection that's based on mutual love and support. It's based on either manipulation, control, coercion, stuff like that. And and let me tell you, it's very hard to notice, especially when it's people closest to you. Very, very hard. Because those are the ones especially that you will turn a blind eye to it, because you'll be like, but they're my so-and-so, they're my, but they're my best friend, they're my coworker, but it's my boss. And I'm not saying it's my boss, I'm just saying, or it's my mom, or it's my dad, or my parent, or sibling. And I've learned that it's okay to set boundaries with people, because boundaries teach people how to treat you, and they teach people what you're tolerant of. And everyone deserves to be treated with the utmost respect and kindness. Everybody. Just because someone's your mom, just because someone's your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, if you're married, your spouse, your partner, your boyfriend, that does not give someone the excuse to treat you like dirt, to gaslight you, to make you feel less than or inferior, just because, you love them or they say they love you. Sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes love can be toxic. Sometimes love can be possessive. True love, unconditional love, I think feels vastly different than conditional love. True love is like, the way I see it is, you expect nothing back from somebody. You love them because you love who they are. You love the joy, or whatever it is, the knowledge, insight, wisdom, whatever it is they bring to your life. That's what you love about them, or vice versa. And there's no expectation of favors. If they don't get their way, they don't get upset at you. If there's a difference of opinion, or if there's a disagreement of some sort, you figure out a way to circle back and rectify it. Because you know how they always say you don't want to go to bed angry, like especially if you have a spouse or a partner, that kind of thing. That to me is unconditional love. It's love without conditions. And a lot of times I think a lot of people, they say that they love you, but it comes with stipulations and expectations. Whoo-wee. So, I mean, given this spread, it says, it's interesting, it says activist, love, look deeper, faith. It's hard to love when you feel like you've been so come up against. And you feel like people bully you for that. Or think you silly. Oh, my chest hurts. But, I guess it says forgiveness. Some people believe you don't have to forgive to move on for things, but I am kind of a believer in forgiveness. Not just for the other person, just for yourself, to release the burden and the weight that it carries on your shoulders, you know? I want to get one more. I want to see what... Did I write down? I don't remember if I wrote down the other... Anything else? Move. Interesting. Look, move. Either move your body or move physically. This has come out a lot, like relocation, like move. It could just literally mean move. If you look, she's like... Because you say emotions or energy in motion. She's like moving gracefully, looks like a dancer kind of. But it also could mean move, like literally move your body, move cities, healthful eating, eat healthy. It's so funny. It looks sweetness. I tried doing that recently. I tried to eat healthy and get fruits and stuff from the market. And I swear to God, I think my fruit was tainted and poisoned. I'm like, how do you do that? I was like, did these people spray pesticide on it? I'm like, I'm trying, God. I did what you said. It says healthful eating. Like, what do you want me to do? But what's interesting, though, it did say move, though. So maybe if you move somewhere else, maybe the situation would be different. Maybe there would be a different variety or options for foods. I don't know. But I did try to do healthful eating recently. Peaceful. Move, healthful eating, sweetness, peaceful. Retreat. Retreat. That means like take time for yourself. Go inward, reflect. Commitment. Oh my goodness, my chest. I'm telling you, it hurts like hell. Poison is not fun. If that's what, I mean, I'm assuming it's what, I mean, my chest hurts like hell. And my shoulder. It says move, healthful. It could also mean move your body, like actual exercise. It could that mean literally, but I also take it as like move, like relocate. Healthful eating. He's literally picking berries off of a tree, like legit. Maybe you have to go to like a freaking farm. I don't know, or somewhere where they have something on a vine, or you know, nowadays I've been learning so much about food safety and ingredients, and you really don't know, you know, where food comes from. You don't know how it's processed or manufactured, and the additives and the things that they put in it. And you know, we have to trust that our government will watch over us to make sure that they eliminate any sort of bad things and toxicities and whatnot. So we'll see. Maybe one day we shall see. I don't know. Be brave. Retreat, commitment, be brave. The song that just came to my mind was Be Prepared from like Lion King. You know, like when Scar was like the song "Be Prepared." It's a very ominous song. Scar was not a good character. He was I think Uncle Scar to Simba, which Mufasa was good lion, Scar was bad lion. So be mindful, maybe there's like a lion in your life. You know, I don't want to say a bad uncle, but maybe there's someone in your life that is like a Scar character, so just be mindful of that. I don't know, I'm not trying to scare people, but so my uncle, I can't picture him being like a bad person. I just can't, like, there's no way. I don't know. So I hope that helps somebody. That's just some early morning insight. I one day hope that I can do a video and I can say things like, I moved and I'm safe and I found peace and good people and a good community and my food is safe and I don't have to worry about toxins anymore or whatever. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for, but easier said than done, right? And everything requires money. And it's just funny because the reading before with the other deck, it kept saying gift, offering, trust, you know, so I don't know if that means a little trust of some sort, but it would be a shame if there were people that know about something that could basically give me the keys to my freedom and completely eradicate and wipe away all the pain and allow me to I mean, I don't know though, because then let's say something, because look, it says reward here, so there might be people who also are targeted and wealthy, so I don't really know how that goes, because I'm targeted and in poverty. Imagine if you're targeted and wealthy, does it, you know, so I don't know. Anyways, it just makes it harder and more challenging, but I am hopeful, and I just need to figure out a way, you know, I just wish there were people, honest people in the world that could help me. But it's, you know, I get it, it's scary, especially if someone's going through something really hard. I wouldn't want them to be targeted too, so, because then it puts them in a compromised position. You know, so we'll see. Only time will tell. You know, they say time heals everything. Sleep does too. But so does having a good diet and clean water. And unfortunately, I don't really have clean water or clean food right now. So I pray that hopefully sometime in the near future I will. Because I really miss having food. I miss having safe food and, you know, food that doesn't have mercury in it or cyanide or strychnine, and if that's what it is, I don't know if they're venoms or whatever. And I strongly encourage you that if you know what's happening to me, or if something like what's happening, if you witness something similar in one of your loved one's life, I would hope that you take it seriously. Don't turn a blind eye to it, because if that's your niece, if that's your nephew, your son, your daughter, your granddaughter, one day they may not be here. And if you could have prevented that, that would fall on your shoulders. When they were telling you and crying for help, hey, I need help, this and this is happening to me, and you were just a bystander to it, that person's blood would be on your hands. Because essentially, if they were crying out for help and saying, hey, I'm not safe, I need help, and they were posting videos about it and no one was taking it seriously, and then they turn up missing or they get sick and they end up passing away because someone intentionally tried to poison them and hurt them, you would be like, oh, well, she did say that she was going through something weird. Trust me, you would never be able to forgive yourself. And I would hope that you would be on the light side of things and not be the kind of person that would be like, oh, but I like to sacrifice my young. I like to sacrifice, we sacrifice family members in our, no, that's kind of scary. I don't know what kind of family you would be in, but in my world, human sacrifice is not something that is permissible or acceptable. This isn't, the Old Testament times. God doesn't want sacrifices. The devil may want that. Ow. The devil may want human sacrifices, but God doesn't. So, just some food for thought on a Saturday morning. God bless. Peace.